Hello to KSB TV. You have already seen it in the thumbnail. Today we have Kareem the Dream in the house, and we will talk about the biggest opportunities that we have right now. Of course, Pulsechain, Pulsex, that's a little bit further in the future. We also have the perpetuals going on right now. They just closed, and of course the fork. So a lot to discuss about. But first, I want to say hello to the Hex line, and then we will dive into what we have done in the last couple of weeks. How's it going, Patrick? How did you do the last week?
Yeah, hi Alan. Doing great. Awesome to be here again, and looking forward to a great interview again today. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. You know him from our channel as well. He was like one of the first guys actually who we interviewed on our Kryptosparbuch channel, not on the KSB TV channel back then. That was like in November 2020. So like the first interview with the guy was nearly 2 years ago, and I guess you all know him. It's Kareem the Dream. So let's bring him up. Let's say hello
Well,
to Kareem.
before we bring up Kareem, I also have an introduction ready. So let's bring Kareem down again, because we will bring Kareem up in about 8 minutes when I'm done with the introduction. We have so much to talk about. So this is something that we just go through really, really quick. So let's do that right
Oh,
now.
I'm
Let's bring
sorry.
up
I'm sorry.
let's bring up the screen share, and let's do it again. And here we see already a tweet from Richard Hart. And the reason why I bring that up is because now it's the perfect opportunity for the people in the chat to like and subscribe, and also go to Twitter here. And Richard Hart needs some help because he wants to ratio somebody. So let's click here really quick on Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet said hello to everybody who can ratio this, and Richard Hart already did 2,800 likes on Richard's tweet and only 2,000 on Trust Wallet. I think this is great, and this just shows what power there is behind the Hex community. So please, for you guys, also go to Hex, because that's where you will find this tweet here, our stream with Kareem the Dream. I want as many Hexicans here on stream as possible, so please go to Twitter, retweet that, so we can bring everybody along. And then what I tweeted out just a couple of days ago is my travel plans. I'm in Georgia until October 3rd, and Amsterdam October 3rd to 4th, and I already have Hexicans coming towards me, wanting to meet me. That's amazing. If you want to meet, I will do a meetup on the October 4th, somewhere really small. If you want to be part of it, just text me. And then the same goes for my hometown Wolfsburg as well. We have a couple of Hexicans already signing up for that. And then I want to be in Playa del Carmen until Pulsechain launches. So I may be there for a couple of months. And again, we have Hexicans already there waiting for me to come out, to come there and just hang out with them. And then, of course, this is maybe also something that we will discuss today on the stream. We have the San Diego Hex birthday from December 1st to 3rd. One of Patrick's favorite topics, I think. And then, of course, in Miami, the hexcruise.com. I love this domain. It's amazing that we have that. But I do not want to spend too much time here on this topic, Patrick, because we have our interview partner waiting. And here you see already one of the topics that we want to discuss today, because me as a Hexican, and I think Kareem is here pretty much the same, we used 1,000 days so far to think about our staking ladder, make the stakes, maybe unstake a couple things already, just to have a really thought out staking ladder. And then there's Maximus Dowing coming and destroying all our plans because they have done the perpetuals. And we want today ask Kareem what he thinks about the perpetuals and where he sees is the opportunity of tomorrow with those. Just to show you
Yeah,
guys how
actually,
successful this was.
you should also put like Hedron in the same meme, because also with Hedron and the HSI staking opportunity, it makes new strategies possible for staking ladders.
Yes, 100%. I see what you're saying. For this meme, I just wanted to blow the horn of the Maximus guys, because I think they did a tremendous work. Look, here is the amount of hex that was pledged to the smart contracts. And I think this is a lot of hex that will not be sold in the near future because it is staked for such a long time. Definitely something that we will ask Kareem the Dream about. And then look at this beautiful picture. All those perpetuals were staked on the blockchain. We have them on 3 different chains, something that we will discuss in a few moments. And you see here already Patrick and Cabana stream talking about what is going on this week, also with Crypto Coffee. So you see the Hex line is really prepared for today to have an interview with Karim. It's going to be really interesting. You see, I'm pulling through it really quick. We have Pulse Doge pumping right now, going up, also going down. So maybe there are even some opportunities in PLSD that we can discuss. And then something that I want to bring up Karim in a moment, because Patrick, we have the Hexi Awards 2023. Exactly, we will click on that right now. And Patrick, you can explain what are the Hexi Awards 2023. Let's bring up Karim, and then we will go through the votes with him together.
Yes, so first of all, hello and welcome, Karim. Awesome to have you back on the channel. And I guess it's like the first time that you're on our KSB TV channel, right? You're still muted, bro. Just unmute yourself.
It was muted. Yes, bang bang. Glad to be here. KSB rebranding. Love the name. Yes, it is my first time with the new name, which is cool. I came to represent, Hex.com right here.
Susan's art, Hex.com. I like that shirt. Yeah.
Always makes me look good, make us all look good. So
yeah. How is it going, Karim? Also, hello from me. Amazing that you are here. Thank you. I'm so excited to ask you all the questions, to have you debate the Hex line. Let's see what different opinions you guys have. But before we do all that, let's get into a really fun thing that the KSB TV, especially Kalen in this case, has come up to get the involvement of the Hexican community. And here you see it already, the Hexi Awards. Let me make it a little bit bigger so we can actually read what is going on here. So, Patrick, the Hexi Awards, please make one Hexican nomination per category. Nomination period ends November 5th, 2022. And we have here, for example, the first most consistent Hex content. Karim, what would you say? Who would be the most consistent Hex content for you?
Just a moment here, please. So first of all, I would like to explain just for 30 seconds. So that's the new thing, what mostly Kaylin came up with in order to keep the community engaged. The Hexi Awards. So what are they? It's just a Google file where we have like several different categories. And now every Hexican out there can just open up this form and then nominate for each category his or her favorite Hexican. And now we are trying to get as many votes as possible because it's just a fun activity, helps engagement and community building. We liked it a lot. And the award ceremony will be at the Hex Cruise next year. And now let's go through that and let's hear some answers from Karim.
That's awesome. Most consistent Hexican, so Hex content, right? No, my quick question. When we say
Hex
consistent, we talk about how many times the person has been streaming, let's say, or consistent in the message.
Yeah, here we talk about consistency. Okay. Not necessarily about messaging, but yeah, like consistency.
Yeah. So if you're talking about to the best of my knowledge, consistent and showing up will be Hexo because of the number of time he has streamed consistently and the new consistency that he just even started recently. So it will be, to me, in terms of consistency and showing up, it will be probably him. Most informative Hex content, I'll put myself in there with probably Wells as well.
Nice.
I would just like to name a few other names as well for people out there, to get a little bit more idea of who might be a good one for each category. So with the most consistent Hex content, who comes also to my mind besides Hexo, is Medi or Crypto Coffee or Hodl Dog as well, because all of them since the get-go of Hex are like consistently providing content.
We can pick multiple? I'm sorry, I thought we can only pick one.
You can only pick one?
Just who comes to your mind.
Okay,
if you are filling out the form, you only pick one. But like now, you just don't need to just name one right now. You can
for me,
fill out the form for you like when you want.
Most entertaining. I was about to put Hodl Dog in there. Oh man, welcome to the hood, brother.
I would put Richard Hart in there, for example.
People don't know that. I watched his video,
Yeah.
and that's how I discovered Hex Live and back in the day and everything. And then I'm, oh wow, this is professional. And then this guy is always happy coming in because I didn't discover Hex, so I discovered Huddle Dog first. He popped on my feed, and that's how I became a Hexican. Funny story.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, Huddle Dog, Crypto
Yeah.
Coffee. I mean, we can put them here in a lot of categories. I think they are great, and they have so big numbers too. And this is exactly what I love about them. So next category here, favorite Hexagon newcomer. That's a little bit different because we have so many newcomers right now.
Yes, my definition of favorite newcomer is somebody that obviously that's new, but comes with a good attitude, ready to help, add value. You know what I mean? Like a couple people I can think of my head of, definitely Suzanne coming in, good attitude, adding value. Look at what I'm wearing. It's great. It's amazing. Or people that just go and start doing streams. You got Jim Rat, you got Corey Costa. You got people that just come in and just want to add value and be down for the cause and help new people learn as well. And there's many others too, obviously, because I've been very busy. There's a lot of new faces that I don't know. But to me, those will be the people who fit in that category because they came in and they automatically wanted to find a way to add value. So I like that.
And then also what I'm seeing here right now are some Hexicans that we don't know of. We don't know their faces, but they have names like AB Crypto, YouTube channel. We have DIY, also a YouTube channel. And they don't show their face. They just make videos about Hex, about Pulsechain in a really professional manner, just with their voice. And I just love those videos. So these are newcomers as well, just Hexicans that are not willing to show their face for whatever reason, but making this amazing content right now. And like every week, one or two of these kinds of content creators shows up for Hex and Pulsechain right now. Really, really exciting times. So the next one, best Hex onboarder. I mean, Karim, here we can put in your
you
name
guys.
again.
I would name you, and I would also put in like Arbitrage in there.
Arbitrage, I would put dollar cost crypto. Miguel put in a lot of work.
Thank you.
And then back in the
Yeah.
day, but I don't know if he keeps doing it or not. But like Toby One used to be one of the top on
Oh
board
yeah,
too,
yeah, that's true.
back in the day.
How
but I
about
don't know if-
Funding Jim?
And Funding Gym
How
too.
about Randy Hilaski? How about
Remember.
Randy?
Randy, yeah, Randy Hilaski too.
Randy
But
Hilaski is
definitely,
amazing.
if we go top dog in terms of volume that I remember was myself, Toby One, Hex Toshi too, and then because he had a lot of referrals back then, and then definitely dollar cost crypto. I mean, if we just look at the past 2-3 weeks and what
Hex
we're able to do.
Toys.
Oh, Hex Story. I'm confused.
Hex
I'm sorry. I didn't mean Hex Toshi. I meant Hex Story. That's the one I meant.
Hex Toys definitely up there, but Karim, you have just mentioned dollar cost crypto twice in this, right? So why did you mention him? Because I have seen that you have hang out with dollar cost crypto and also M2K. We will talk about him later. Yes. And dollar cost crypto, I saw a reel from him, just a short video where he stated that he was or is #1 onboarder in Hex. It's verifiable how much volume he brought in. Even Richard Hart was mentioning it once. So do you have a little bit more information about what he meant by that?
Yeah, what he meant by that is just to put in perspective. The week when Richard came in, and then I was with him, and then Gary, but primarily me and Miguel, is like we have the staker class grew by like over 7,000. We onboarded like 7,000 people in a matter of like 4 or 5 days, and it's a combination of the network that Miguel has tapped into with Gary, but definitely Miguel because he has the crypto course. So it's people that already had the trust, already knew him to his other course, all of his students, and then he brought them, a lot of them, they were new to Hex, new to Hedron even, you know what I mean? So as being part of the course, as being one of the ambassador in the community, and also knowing some of those big heads, like we're talking about, he's also friends like me with the people from Fresh and Fit, the Jay Weiler, like some of the big interview that we have, even the one with the Bet David, what we were able to do the interview, it was a combination of Gary and Miguel. If it wasn't for those two people, those big interview wouldn't have happened. Because without the interview, right, you can't get Richard to be in position to do what he do best, which is be able to, educate and bring new light to new people to Hex. And there's even an interview that I can't say, I don't want to spoil it, but Miguel already set up a new interview that's going to be happening this Saturday with another big name. So if it wasn't for him doing that, and also going in depth with the courses because they teach us Hex and they teach why it's smart to buy Hex. They teach staking ladder the same way I like to do it when I onboard all my celebrity and all my friends, because you don't just want to talk about Hex, you want to have actionables. You got to be able to bring people to actually buy it, actually stake it, actually use it the way it's supposed to. So.
Exactly, and later on we will talk about staking with the HSI stakes, with the perpetuals, but let's finish up this little vote that we have here. Best Hex Alpha. Karim, what would you say? What are one of the thoughts that you have for that?
Put my hat in the ring too. Best Hex Alpha definitely, because it's specifically to Hex. I mean, you really got to master T-share and understanding how this works, because or you're gonna miss.
Yeah, who else would you like to see nominated in this category?
Definitely,
the first
again,
name?
Hex Lion. I beat Hex. You know, back in the day, really understanding the power of the T-share. I mean,
Which comes to my mind would be John Wick.
Yeah, John Wick as well. You know, because the cool thing with John Wick is he actually predicted that we might get a third copy. Here we are today, XW. You know what I mean? John Wick was one of the first a year ago says, "Oh, if this merge, it doesn't we might get a third chain." Here we are now with 4 chains. So John Wick definitely, and then also because I'm missing one, but I mean definitely Wells. You know, breaking down some of what I had in my head. He was able to put it in a chart. That was very powerful, because some people are very visual and they wanted to see chart and see understanding like what's the daily payout looks like and all this sort of things. So that that helped a lot. And then
would you
forget
name,
about him, but very
would you name
important.
Silver? Would you name Silver here?
Silver is more into the analytics. I wouldn't say about the alpha. Silver will be named for the Hedron Alpha. I'll give him that.
That's true.
I'll give him that. But also Bex Hex Alpha, I will nominate. I had his name off my head and he just escaped. Just give me a second.
We have Crypto Sloth. We have Crypto Graphics. The guy is great as well.
Oh crap! How did I forget? It's not Wells. I already said Wells. It's Gerardo.
Oh yeah, Gerardo for sure. We have Minter right here.
Yeah.
Gerardo with this site, same thing, showing visualize like the rainbow, regression rainbow, and all sort of stuff. So that was some really cool alphas. Again, he knows math. So
the funniest streamer in Hex, Richard Hart.
Dude, Hexo. Nobody beats Hexo. I mean, I could be funny even on there, but I mean, Hexo is like, it's funny, it's entertaining, it's yeah.
That's
true. What I mean?
And I mean, the viewers, they applaud him, right?
But you can also put Hot Dog in there. Hot Dog is
for
funny.
Sure. Funny as fuck.
Yeah, that's true.
How you would say.
And then also that lady that impersonated Hot Dog. What's her name?
Expensive Taste.
Yeah, Expensive Taste. We get to put some ladies in there too. And she's funny.
Oh, we will get to the ladies in a second. Best articulated Hex game theory. I think they're of Medi All In, of Crypto Heartbeat, for example, of Cabana Crypto. These are really articulated Hex game theory streamers for me. How about most engaging Hexican on Twitter?
Most engaging Hexican. Honestly,
I think the most.
It's gonna shock people, but I see her all the time. She never stopped. Hexlina. I'll vote for her. She's cool. She was the one that like changing everybody's profile pictures with those cool little logos and stuff. She's everywhere. Somebody talk crap, she's there. She sees something cool, she retweets it. So I see her a lot.
And then Karim, this is already our second stream today. We went through this list already, and Patrick and we said like this award has to go to Karim Hexican live after party. I think you would agree to that, right?
I will gladly and honorably take it.
who should be nominated next to you here? Who should be nominated next to you here?
Let me think who can have...
Maybe Coffee?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be Coffee. Like if it's a number 2, then there must be Coffee, 100%.
I can think of Coffee.
Best
I can think of my friend, my good friend John Anderson. He's likes to party too. He can keep up with me. My boy.
I mean, Kool-Aid would also be like
Kool-Aid, yes. Kool-Aid dance. I think SJ too. Life of the party, always smiling, always happy, always in the good mood. So I like that.
So the chat is saying Cabana is life of the party, or also Hexerian is saying Crypto Kool-Aid life of the party. So for this nomination, we have a lot of Hexican. What would you say about best Hexican YouTube? What is your idea for that category?
This is tough. But again, I mean,
This is tough.
what do we describe as best? Who got the most
Exactly.
numbers?
Exactly.
I
That's
mean, I
what you
can say
go for.
Richard Hart. He's a
Exactly.
No,
But
it's a
you know what I mean?
it is
That's the
sub,
safe
you know,
part.
it's your personal decision. That's how like those votes are working, you know. So
Yeah,
you can insert like even if the YouTube channel only has 100 subscribers, yeah, if that's
yeah. I mean, by
your
order,
thought,
Richard
you know,
Hart.
then put it
Richard
in.
Hart's a Hexican, so he's #1 channel.
on TikTok, it's a little bit easier because we have Super Hex or El Hexidente.
Oh, yeah.
Of course,
Super Hex
every
is
Hexican has a TikTok, but those are just the major guys, right?
Yes, yes. TikTok
So,
definitely Super Hex.
how about hottest Hexican male?
Wow. Okay, that's kind of a little bit weird, but I mean,
Well, I think I made it
I
really
don't
easy.
usually
So
pick
I just
guys,
looked.
but you know,
I just looked at Twitter. I was just looking on what are the ladies saying, and the ladies want to see the gold key there. That's why I put the gold key in that. So a little bit easier for you. Who is the hottest female?
oh man, that's
Jory,
that's a
Jory,
that's a trap.
Jory,
That's a trap.
you need to say Jory now. You need to say Jory now.
Look, I'm in trouble with Rabbit. I would honestly, I have one in mind actually, but again, everybody got different type. But I think it's just because to me, she's cute. She's a little mysterious, and she's always quiet, polite, and her voice sounds amazing. I think Hot Pro. That's my vote.
For sure, I
Good
can see
choice.
that. I obviously put in
But Jury is
Yurida.
nice too, obviously. But Hot Pro
She is
nice.
cracking up right now upstairs. I can hear her. So shout out to her. Okay, Hexican Designer of
Yeah, I
the
feel like I'm
Year,
in an
Kareem.
interrogation. This is crazy. I thought we were here to talk about markets. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, in 2
That's an
minutes we
easy
are
one
almost
right now.
we are
Who
almost
is
over
who
here.
is your favorite hex designer of the year, Kareem?
Oh, you're looking at it right here. There's no competition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no competition. Look at the sparkles. So nice.
And then the
Hexican
next
artist.
category of music and performance art, I would name, I would have 3 different people there. Like
Yes.
like Freddy Quotes,
Yes.
Corey the investor, no, 4
Investor.
people. Then
Yeah,
there
and then Black Crypto.
is
That's on my top 3.
Black Crypto. And the 4th one would be
But the guy that did the
Scotty,
post,
or no?
the guy that did the post,
Scotty.
anthem. Yeah, Scotty's good too.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
And then,
Top
of course, we
3.
have so many Hexican artists that do music. Right now, we cannot list all of them, but I know the chat knows all of
Yes.
them. So you guys obviously know way,
The
way more than
history
me.
is like, it's like why I say those 3 people is because not just because they're OG, but like if you go back in the day with all the gatekeeping, and then we did that first song, and then we did the music video. Oh my God, the lyrics was just like so on point with what we were going through. So that's why it's like it has
That's
to
true,
be.
yeah.
It has to be those 3 people.
Next
So
category, you see
next
it
one is
already.
also like in my point, it's an easy one. It's a decision between 2 people, Alex or Deepcatcher.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, hold on. Those are the new cool kids on the block. I'm still Team Firebun. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of things we're able to get so that we can have.
Yeah, but honestly, what came in 2022 from Staker Rap? I'm sorry, but you know, since a year I'm hearing about version 2. I mean, okay, now
keyword, you
they
said
say
developer
okay,
of
they
the
will
year.
come with
Okay.
version 2 of.
But hey, just to
So
maintain what you already have and do implementation for Pulsechain is not that easy. When you see the end result, then you'll be able to judge. It's just like Pulsechain. Certain things takes time, but when they come out, you will see that. But you're right. Technically, I didn't fully read. It says developer of the year. So in that case, yeah, those people could be, you know what I mean, right there. But I will
so
still
who do
say,
you prefer?
I
Who
still
do you
need
prefer,
my
Alex
audit.
or Deepcatcher?
I would
Do
say
you prefer
Alex.
Alex or Deepcatcher?
Alex, and here's why. Because at the end of the day, and we're gonna talk about it, he gave us free money. I don't care what anybody says. That he
That's
joined
true.
came for free.
True.
We didn't have to do nothing. You didn't have to
Yeah.
sacrifice nothing. It was audited. He spent $100,000. Some of those people, where's my audit? I'm sitting here. Where's my audit? So, and then you're gonna ask me later about what I think about certain things. I'm gonna give everybody a hint right now. It's something Richard Hart said this, and I agree. Is you want to ideally avoid smart contract risk. And the way you're going to give me peace of mind to not have smart contract risk is for me to have some type of an audit that I can see. Because then if I tell people to do something and if something bad happen, I don't want to be the guy that look bad. Does that make sense? And Alex again, because on the ETHW, he was the first to get in there, make sure all the contracts and everything works, so people don't have to go connect to random sites and potentially get hacked. They can use the same site they're already accustomed to and just
It's a
swap
beautiful
on the
front end, yeah.
W. That is a beautiful thing. If it wasn't for that, I'm telling you, Hex, Hejon, all the other ones, they wouldn't be trending the way they're trending on the ETHW if he didn't put the thing. So that guy, definitely beast mode. He's been doing a lot of work, and he took a lot of shit, because I was there in the beginning when I was telling people Hejon is going to be great, and people were talking crazy, but he took a lot of shit. He stayed cool. I remember the live stream when he was being attacked left and right. He didn't lose his cool, and he just keep his head down. He said, "You know what? I'm going to prove to you my code is good." So, and he's the Richard Hart type. If you go all the breakdown, right, what it does: decentralized, no counterparty risk, fully audited, free airdrop. It's actually teaming with the Hex value. It's becoming like an incentive token for Hex, because the higher the value goes, the more you incentivize to buy and stake, because you get to mint Hedron for free. So to me, that hands down. So I think I've said a lot, but the Hexican developer of the year, Alex, that's for me, that he gets the, but the other one is good too. Deep Catch is good too, but Alex.
Kareem, the chat agrees with you. A lot of people are saying, yeah, Alex should definitely get this prize. I did the same mistake as you. I didn't account for of the year. I was also waiting for voting for Stake App, and Patrick here actually convinced me that it should have been Dipcatcher or Alex. So I'm with you guys here for sure. How about Hex Community Leader of the Year 2022? I mean, this is hard to say. It must be Richard, right? But if we say we don't want to put Richard everywhere, like who else could it be? We had the 5555 tour ending in 2022. This is pretty big.
This one honestly should be renamed to Hex Community Leaders. I think it should not be just one, because the community is bigger now, and then there's multiple leaders in terms of like people that did really good in 2022.
Yeah, but you know, the Hexi Awards are about
competition.
competition.
Got you. So... Oh my God, that's tough. That's tough. There's so many of us. I mean, 20. I mean, technically 2022 is not over yet. So who knows? Who knows if somebody come up with some other, you know what I mean? I mean, we really working hard on this. I mean, hopefully we get to talk about it later on this fight.
But
so that can bring a lot.
Definitely, thank you for the feedback. We have Kaylin in the chat, and she will definitely write a note on that for sure. So here we have Hexican of the Year female. I already put Kaylin in here, so we don't have to talk about that. But who could it be for a male here, for example?
Who is the Hexican of the Year?
And this is already then the last one, and then we start talking about all the crypto stuff. So again, maybe the year is not over. Maybe this has still to be established. It's going to be interesting what the Hex community is about to say in a couple of weeks. I think like in November, this thing is going to an end. We will also want to show you maybe some votes from the middle, like how everybody is standing. And then I'm really excited to get this out to the community and show what the result is. But Patrick, this was it with the votes. Let's bring down the screen share here and let's talk about crypto. Obviously, right before this stream, we talked about a lot of charts. And Patrick, there is a lot of things going on. What would you say should be the first thing to discuss with Kareem here? Where do you see the biggest opportunity, and what is the best strategy? This is the theme of the stream today, and this is what we want to establish. Patrick, what is your favorite topic right now that we should dive into?
So, as I know, Kareem, you know, you are all about onboarding as well as we are. So, in your point of view, what is your best alpha as an onboarding strategy right now? I give you my short view. In my point of view, it is just the question, the first initial question: do you want to do something from time to time, or would you just put money in and wait long time? So that's like the ground question in my point of view, and just putting money in, wait long time. Perpetuals want to do something from time to time. HSI staking, where you a year later can mint some Hedron, stake them. Another year later, you can add to this Hedron, take the Acosta, stake the Acosta from that, and like slowly build from your one purchase a crypto portfolio. And if you just don't want to do anything for years, right now it would be this.
Okay. Question number one. We're talking about a brand new Hexican, right? Somebody that's new, right?
Yeah,
For
we're
the
Sure.
talking about somebody new, yes.
Okay. So, and this is important. I'm glad we talk about it. Rule number one, very important in onboarding: less equal more, meaning simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. We sometimes forget because we're so in the deeps and we know all the nuance and everything like that. Some of those new people, they don't know anything and things can be scary. You just need to start and get them into hex before you start going, oh, perpetual this, that, he jumped, da, da, da. You got to slow down. You got to remember to get them into hex first. And the way you do that is by sharing your story. This is one reason why I have so much respect for Avid, because he probably don't fully realize how important his story is. You know what I mean? Like if I had a similar
Yep.
story like that, I'll probably even onboard even more people because I love to share my story. Now, what I share on my story is also about how hard I worked and how I delayed gratification. And I share my story when I was back home in Africa with similarities. So sharing your story, getting people into Hex, the same way I even do with celebrities. And then automatically, because you're putting a thinking about the t-shirt in mind, you start building the ladder, but the first stake is always the longest stake. The same way I even did with MK when we started, with the first $2,000 before he added more money. The first stake we did was Cuatro Cinco. We did $500 for 15 years, $500 for 10 years, $500 for 7 years, and then $500 for like about 3 years. So we built the ladder so you get to see how flexible the system is. He gets to see that his first stake is the longest stake, so he's in the system. And then he gets to see how easy it is to do it because he already had some Ethereum. He just sent it to himself. Boom, we did the staker app, 1, 2, 3, done. And then now he's doing everything on his own. He can add more stake on his own. He has a kid on the way. He can do a birthday stake for his kid or when the kids turn 15 or whatever it might be. So, but just sharing the story, getting them into apps, showing them how easy and simple it is very important. Because if you don't do that, then they start to feel it's too complicated, it's too overwhelming. And people, and I know that from sales, they will be literally, because they're afraid, they will keep what they have, even though it's a bad investment, instead of getting something that's better for them if they feel like it's too complicated to do. So it's very important that we keep that in mind, especially in onboarding, especially for us veterans, because we've been at it for so long. So it's second nature for us because we know everything already. But we got to remember, like you're talking to a kid, those people are new. They don't know about Hex. So you don't want to assume and start running fast or, oh, do this, do this. Like you got to, and you got to have patience. Again, it's not for everybody. I like to be a teacher.
So my problem with that is that I see end staking risk of a 5555 stake on the Ethereum chain, and that's why I would still take the second step after the guy purchased Hex
Mhm.
to at least explain the HSI staking opportunity
Yes.
with the 555 stake.
No,
Because
you can
there you
definitely
have the
explain that.
flexibility, and in 10 years from now,
Mhm.
you might already know, like, if in 5 years the stake will be able to end stake or not, and then you have still like plenty of time in order to find
Mhm.
a seller.
I
And
agree, but on the other hand, you have another thing that you're not careful about that you're taking away, which is one of the things where I used to push back, but Maddie does have a little bit of a point there, because remember the goal. The goal is to teach people how to delay gratification, not to teach them a way to potentially have an out. Because if you're not careful, because this thing can turn into a drug. Some
for me
people, they
it's a
don't
different
have the
goal.
let me explain.
For
Some
me it's
people
a
don't have
different goal.
the mental fortitude of understanding how to use something because they can abuse the HSI, and then now all of a sudden they can just go and spend the money or this and that, and the next thing you know, they lose their stake. Next thing you know, they go and they do the borrowing and the whatever. So it's a slippery slope. I'm just saying on the step one. And by the way, for me, I spend an average of 30 minutes to an hour with a person. Before we even talking about like money, onboard, whatever, I talk a lot about security. I talk a lot about how to protect the key, all this and
Agree,
stuff.
agree.
Like by the time
Yeah,
we're getting
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing in, they're already so excited. They love to do the 15-year stake. They know that if they press the button, something bad's going to happen. But they also know that $500 can turn into a lot of money 15 years from now. So I'm building the ladder, but we're not putting the big chunk too much out of in the 15 years. This is the reason why Dream Account level 1 is so good, because we only talk about 30%. And then that 30% with all the bonuses or whatever build you up. So I still push people to delay gratification. Let's not forget what Hex was designed to do. We can't just start giving people out, because then 10, 15 years from now, they could be mad at you. They could be like, oh, I wish I didn't have an optionality to potentially get out or take this or take that, because now 15 years from now, who knows? Hex is so valuable, and people who had the opportunity to get it early, like in Bitcoin, and they gave away their coin or they gave away their stake, then they're gonna feel really, really bad. So we gotta keep that in mind. And that's why I told people, you have to do, first of all, with what's called your discretionary income, what you're able to actually invest. If you tell me, Kareem, I have rent money and I'm willing to invest now and then get a little, no, I'll be like, no, you don't have anything to invest. So that's why I love the flexibility of Hex, because you don't have to have thousands of dollars. You can even start with $50. Whatever you can do that you don't need, that's what we're gonna start with. And then we're gonna build your ladder.
Patrick, I know you want to jump into the more advanced topics right now, but before we do that, I have forgot to do to show something. I'm here on the Instagram page of Kareem, and I think it's crazy. It is totally blowing up right now. You've already mentioned one of your celebrity onboards that you just talked about Hex, to not confuse him with all the other products, just Hex first. You explained how you did the staking ladder with him, and this is how I came up with, hey, let's look at Kareem's Instagram page, and it's amazing. 94,000 followers. Just a couple of weeks ago, this number was way lower, right? So can you maybe talk about this and talk about M2K? How did he find out why Hex is so amazing? Like, was you the first point to explain to him what Hex is?
So yeah, so kind of the story, right? For people who don't know, right? Since I basically retired, I moved to Miami. That's where it started. Me and my team, a group of friends, and then from there, that's how, if you guys remember, I onboarded Fresh from the Fresh and Fit as well. And then because he was going there to promote the fight that he was already starting, we met through mutual friends. This is one of the reasons why I told people, like, when I'm in the club and all this other stuff, I'm always networking. See, people think that club is just about, going out and drink. No, especially in Miami, you never know who you're gonna meet. I meet celebrities all the time in the club, like from people that are artists, singers, or all kinds of walk of life. So to a mutual friend, and that's when Richard was around as well. And the mutual friend is another guy called Scotty Huss, which has like 2 million something followers. That's the guy that met us when we were at the Miami sub eating with Richard. And then to him, he said, hey, you should sponsor my friend, celebrity boxing's coming up. That's how me and Richard even heard about it, met the guy, everything is cool. Then Richard went to the face-off with him. That's when we raised the first $20,000 for the face-off that he went to. And then they became instantly best friend. And I met him too. Everything was cool. Then he stayed in Miami for a little bit, for a couple of days. And then he left. I had no idea, because I thought he said he was from the West Coast. I thought he was from California, because he also has a house there. I didn't know he had a house in Vegas. Then by surprise, when we came here for the PulseCon and came to meet everybody, he hit me up. And I follow up with him and say, oh, wow, you live here? I said, yeah, I'm in Vegas. Then I started to invite him to all of our events. You know what I mean? He couldn't make the first one, the fashion show, but he was able to make the other two. That's why I was able to bring him to the Nagabo party. And then also the party that we did the next day with the, I forget the name of the coin, the Get Fit coin. So this is when we really get in mind, exactly. That's when we get to bond even further and then become closer friends, because he got to see how cool the community is. Like, we're down to earth, just like him. Like, we don't just like, oh, because we got money and like we assholes. Like, no, he got to see, wow, all those Hexicans renting those mansions and teaching and talking to people about delayed gratification, building financial freedom. So all that led to the fact that he really, really started to be like, okay, this guy is consistent. I met him in Miami. I see the lifestyle. I met Richard Hart, which he loved, because obviously he made a lot of money into Hex as well. And a lot of people who made money into Hex as well. So let's start with that. But he wasn't a Hexican just yet. So the fact that he hit me up, that I took him in, he came to pick me up. I went to all the event. I got him to meet everybody. He saw how everybody was cool. Community is great. That made him want to be a Hexican, wants to get more involved. And that's why he even invited us People say, oh, okay, this day everybody come to my house so we can do the party there. And Kryptosparbuch was able to be there as well, which was awesome because Mars was there with us and everything. So it was really, really a good idea to connect, but also to see that we're like-minded people. So like I said earlier, sharing your story, spending time with people, especially people who are like high profile, because you don't just want to automatically go like, oh, this is what I'm doing, because it's like, it sounds too salesy. I was just hanging out, being a good person. And then when I had the opportunity to share how are we able to do what we do and be financially free and everything like that, boom, that's when I went to do the deep dive into Hex. That's when he said, hey, stop being in the hotel, come to my house, you can just stay here. I'm still here right now. This is my room. There's the big living room. I can give you guys a tour. It's just some people don't like the beep of the smoke detectors. That's why I came here. But yeah, all of that.
All right, Karim. So let's bring it back to Hex a little bit more. You already said you talked about Hex with him. He understands.
Yes.
I think M2K himself said that he is staking Hex. So he basically has a little staking ladder already set up. But now we want to dive a little bit deeper. What would you tell anybody? What is the best opportunity? What is the best strategy right now once you build your comfortable ladder already and now you want to maybe explore some other opportunities to make more yield on our beautiful Hex? Maybe have other advantages like instant liquidity and so on. So let's dive a little bit deeper now. We have explained to M2K what are the first steps. Basically, what is the second step now?
Yeah. So again, the beauty is everything is connected. Because you did the first step correctly, you're most likely going to have a lot of t-shirts, which then allows you to second step for free, mint your Hedron that you have already basically indirectly earned thanks to the t-shirt that you have created. So second step will be, I would say, dive into learning about Hedron, learning about getting, the free money that you get out of that. So that also, if later on, like Patrick said, you want it, once you're educated about it, of course, you want to start venturing into HSI and things like that. At the very least, because of the free Hedron that you're generating, you can start to do some math to use that as a backup in case the HSI, let's say you borrowed a Hedron over there, didn't go so well. At least you can use some of the Hedron that you're minting every day to cover your position, so to speak. But again, to me personally, anything that's just a personal choice. Anything that can potentially look like people might be gambling, I try not to talk about it too much because I don't want people to get wrecked. But anything that gives them like a free money, that will make sense. Same thing with the perpetual. If you're okay, get the what I call the potential smart contract risk, and you're okay with it, it's a great tool to use because it's already predetermined, all the different timeline, and you get to use that as well.
What kind of smart contract risk are you speaking about with audited contracts?
So basically, my thing is this, and Petri, maybe you can help me. It's something that I took from Richard, right? I need to see the audit. I need to see that the audit was done. And I've said that in all the stream when I was talking with Corey Costa. I got nothing wrong with what those gentlemen were doing. I love it a lot. The idea. I was literally one of the pioneers to talk about long-term staking. You know what I mean? 15-year stake. The amount of money that was staked is amazing to watch. At Stake Lab, we were literally paying people, if you remember, to do Quattro Cinco to lock the coin away.
I know,
So
yeah. Shout out to Steph because he gave away like 5,555 maxi to some people or to one? To some people, right?
I think so.
Or
I
to
think
one
it
winner.
was two people because he put it on the Twitter. People were supposed to guess what was the total number. So I'm just trying to stay true to my ethos, right? Because if we don't do that, then it's a slippery slope. And on Pulsechain, we might let the thing go. So I want to distinguish something very, very clear. The idea is fabulous. I love it to death. The more you lock Hex away, the happier I get. Okay. Now I want to explain the difference between what Sticker App did and what this is going on because with Sticker App, because we're paying people to do Quattro Cinco, we didn't have to create a new smart contract. Therefore, we didn't have to worry about a audit, so to speak. Same thing with the app itself. The reason why we don't need an audit is because it's just a UI which points to existing contract. It points to hex.com contract. It points to Uniswap. So there's no new basically audit needed because that's all we're doing. And then everything else as far as the code is protected because you know, we are on the Apple and Google Play Store. They don't play games. If your stuff is not good, they're not going to let you be hosted on those platforms. So this is kind of how I have the peace of mind when I go tell people, hey, you can do this or you can do that. I got the peace of mind on Hedron because I told Alex, and he knows, because he was the one. As soon as he got the audit, he at me on Twitter and he sent it to me, and everybody got to it. So I said, hey, I love the idea, but I can't support your product until I see an audit. And then he got the audit, and then everything went well. And since then, I've been singing Hedron every day. So all I'm saying is, because Richard pointed out, and I have to point it out, and especially for me, because I move a lot of hex. So I would like to see it if it exists. If not, it is fine. But for me to be 100% something, I want to make sure we see the audit, because Abbott, if something bad happened, knock on wood.
So sorry to interrupt you, Karim, but you
Yeah.
know that if you go in the Maximus Telegram chat
Yeah.
and you press like pasta or like contract, you get the audit of the contracts right away.
Okay, so what you're saying is there was an audit that was done?
Yes.
Yeah, there is a link to the audit in the Telegram chat
Okay, well,
since
hey, this is
a
breaking
few
news for me.
weeks,
Again, I've been busy. I
months.
didn't, like I said, I was asking. I was like, "Where's the audit?" I didn't know. All you got to say was the
I
audit
know
was done.
all your hacks are locked up, so you didn't have
Exactly,
too
you
much
actually. So I
flexibility.
just love the Hedron. They just keep coming every week. So, but yeah, listen. If the audit was done, then it's great. That's I need to make sure I get my
Yeah,
hands. So
it
you
was
say
done.
where it is, I'm
Yes,
gonna go take a look.
Exactly. That's
that's
why.
why I wanted to ask like again what you mean like with the smart contract risk, because like the audit eliminates this, and yes,
Yes.
all the contracts have audit, so the team contract as well,
Okay.
and then the diamond hand contract is just a copy of the team contract.
Okay, Karim, as we know you, you're spitting alpha really fast. You were talking about Hedron, about the perpetuals, about some risk there as well. Let's get into the chat here really quick so the people have a second to breathe and reconsider their thoughts and so on. Yuri here in the chat is asking Karim, are you going to the Hex birthday in San Diego? And maybe we can later on bring that up on the screen share as well. So have you heard about the birthday, Karim?
I heard it from your Twitter.
Yeah, but maybe can you have a look? I guess we need to announce a super chat as well.
Oh, and the super chat we have here as well. Hex Monkey 1999. Thank you so much. 3 of the best Hexagon onboards on the screen right now, crushing it. Hex Monkey, thank you so much. The
Thanks,
super
Hex
chat will
Monkey.
go towards the million Pulse Tour and promote what we all love. All right, so
Yeah, I mean, it's Hex's birthday, right? I would love to attend. It all just comes down to depend where I'm gonna be. But the good news is I'm knowing about this now, so that allows me to plan. Makes sense? Because
Let me tell you the program. Let me tell you the program,
tell me.
Karim, because you will love that. You will love that. So we are meeting on the 1st of December. I mean, you know Kaylin, so the 1st of
Mhm.
December is actually Kaylin's birthday. So
Yes, I remember
that
last year. Yep.
you can sign up for this dinner as well. Or the official part would start on the 1st in the evening. We are in San Diego in the Hard Rock Hotel.
Okay.
Like the VIP ticket includes 3 nights of in the suite of the Hard Rock Hotel, and then we meet at the rooftop bar to have like a rooftop bar get together at the 1st in the evening. Yeah, open end. Then if you go with the VIP package, it's also like airport transportation or valet parking is included. And then on the next day, on the 2nd, the actual Hex birthday, we
Mm-hmm.
meet at noon in the harbor and go on a 40-person yacht, because on the West Coast you can rent bigger ones, something like that.
Nice. Yeah, I was about to say because in East Coast is
And
less than that. Less than
yeah,
that.
that goes like 4 hours till the afternoon. Then later on, everybody can go back to the hotel, redress himself, get something to eat, and then on the 2nd in the evening, we will celebrate the 3rd birthday of Hex, where we have in a nightclub of San Diego the private section, you know, bottle service for our VIP package. Holders, and also like general admission, so like you can get single tickets for that and all that stuff. And then on the 3rd, the day after, we will have a nice chilled out pool party also in the Hard Rock Hotel in the rooftop.
And Karim, you have been at the Cabana party. I think this party will be even better. I just love to hang out with Hexicans. That's why we definitely wanted to bring up that on the stream. And you should definitely consider coming here. Maybe with a couple of friends like DCC. I would love to see him there. Like M2K, he's a Hexicans. I bet he would love the yacht party as well.
Yeah, I'll bring it to them. I'll bring it to Miguel because I see him, a lot here. It's just
So
M2,
to sum it up, we have rooftop bar, we have yacht, we have nightclub, and we have pool party.
Nice. I think again it's a good idea simply because like it's Hex birthday, which is good. Again, I'll bring it to the other two gentlemen. It's just M2 had to go to Dallas today. That's why he's not here, or I would have him on stream as well because he's doing a celebrity signage and then also promoting for the fight. So he's very busy. He's gonna be there for the next 2 days, then coming back, and then we'll do an event here in Vegas, and then next week we'll start to go back to the East Coast to Miami, and then there's like 4 or 5 podcasts we're going to be doing there as well before the fight. So we're just trying to promote as much as possible, visibility, Hex everywhere, all that good stuff. Now my thing is just the only thing is because I've also promised people Hexicans from Puerto Rico that I will be visiting, so that will be the only potential hiccup. But the fact that I know about this
if you
now,
say like Hexicans in Puerto Rico, you need to convince those Puerto Rican Hexicans to fly to San Diego.
Yeah, right. No, because I was supposed to go there and then I keep postponing because things keep happening in Pulsechain, and I was supposed to go this morning and but I can't because we got the fight. So it's like keeps postponing. But yeah, no, listen, it's good to know, and I think you guys did a very, very smart thing by picking San Diego because unfortunately, not every part of California is nice right now in terms of safety. It's crazy. Even when we went to the No Jumper podcast in LA, we had to be like careful. We're in the group, make sure nothing bad happened. So, and in San Diego for me is like the last hope. When I was talking to Mitchell, because he had family from there, it's nice, it's safe compared to some of the other places.
I already see a lot of people in the chat saying San Diego is awesome. They want to go with the VIP package, for example. You can also pick just the single events of those 3 days. This is possible as well. With the VIP package, you just get everything, the hotel, all the tickets, everything.
I was just about to ask, if the hotel included, that's a good deal then.
And that's a good deal. That's why I'm getting that.
That's why like the package price for 1 person compared to 2 persons is not so much difference because it includes the 3 hotel nights, and when it comes to the Hard Rock Hotel, they offer suites, so they don't offer any discount if you stay there alone or as a couple. So
Hex Monkey, for example. Hex Monkey, for example, is coming as well. I'm really excited to see all the Hexicans again. I think this was enough of the event, though. Now let's bring it back to crypto again. We talked about the first level, which is basically understanding T-shares, getting your native HEX stakes in. The second level, thinking about Hedron, learning about the perpetuals, about all those nice products. But we have way more than only that. With Patrick, we've already discussed possible good strategy for Pulsechain and Pulsex, and this is what I want to ask you now, Karim. Where do you see the potential for new people or the people that are already Hexicans for a long time? What is the right strategy for Pulsechain, Pulsex? What do you have to accumulate? And maybe Patrick, right here, it's a good idea to give the elevator pitch of the HEX Kryptosparbuch strategy, just so Karim has an idea what we want to talk about.
Yes, please let me hear that.
I also don't know like what you mean right now. Like how to accumulate Pulse and Pulse X, or what do you mean right now?
One strategy, for example, would be to accumulate HEX. That's definitely valid. I think everybody should do that. But there are also other coins that you could accumulate. For example, Hedron was pumping in the last couple of months. PLSD is pumping right now. So what I want is, I want my onboards to have as much value when Pulsechain launches, so they can accumulate more Pulsechain. So my question is, what is the right strategy, Patrick? I think we have a Kryptosparbuch strategy for that. So why don't you give this elevator pitch to Karim really quick?
Yeah, so that's like has nothing to do with HEX. The thing is like when somebody comes and asks me, what is the best strategy for Pulse and Pulse X? Yeah, so the goal of the person is Pulse or Pulse X, not HEX, not at all HEX. Yeah, only Pulse or Pulse X. Okay. Then my strategy, or we shared it already like a couple of months ago and so on, was to go with a different ERC20 coin, like Pulse Dogecoin, because it has great tokenomics and is a little linked to the hex price as well. So in my point of view, I see that it will pump as well towards the fork with the announcement, and it will have less sell pressure directly after the fork, that you can get more Pulse and Pulse X with it than compared to Hex.
Okay.
I mean, we had a similar situation, and I think that's where our thoughts were coming from. With the big payday, for example, where everybody got 30% of free hex, basically, we saw the market dumping on that day. Maybe something like this could happen in the
had
future as well.
We had the same thought process like when it comes to Hex and the Pulsechain sacrifice phase. So already like back in May last year, we told everybody now is the time to accumulate the Hex in order to have a bigger volume to sacrifice later on.
Yes.
And the first time we spoke about that was like Hex at 2 cents. The week later it was already 4 cents. And then for sacrificing to the Pulse sacrifice set was like 15 to 18 cents.
Yes. No, I get what you're saying. My thing is this, right? Again, this is my favorite topic, right? Quick math. Now I'm wearing the serious hat now. So, and bear with me because I'm going to break a lot of things down, which are very important. I want people to pay attention. It might take 5 minutes. Okay. So it's good to talk about what could happen in the pump, but people need to also look at the opposite side. When you argue something, you got to look at both sides. You got to look at what's the negative externality, what's the thing that can go wrong. My issue with Pulse Doge, for example, and again, nothing wrong against about it. My boy Gunther runs that, so it's like there's no bad blood. It's just that again, it is not Hex. If anything, Hex W has taught a lot of people is that when we get close to Pulsechain, the number one coin, those who are smart, who want to hold going into the fork, is going to be Hex. And here's why. All the stable coins, they go to zero simply because Circle is not going to say, hey, you have $100,000 here, I'm going to give you $100,000 there. Hex W already showed that it goes to zero fast. Number two, we already know the strongest pair in the beginning that's going to be set for ratio, because USD pair may not show up until 24 to 48 hours later.
I agree.
So you're looking at the strongest pair there logically who are going to be built, you know, by OA or whatever, will be Pulse related, Pulse X related, and Hex related. So those are strong pair. So because of those strong pair, you want to have something that's going to most likely hold its value going into the fork. And number three, the most important thing, if people are smart, aka liquidity provider, which I like to believe that they are, when they get the heads up that the fork is coming, and they do not, I repeat, they do not want to get harvested by the AMM, automatic market maker, but they're going to remove their liquidity to not be harvested, which then is going to make Hex very, very thin, only whatever's left, aka OA most likely, whoever is willing to take a permanent loss, and that liquidity will be so small that people are going to remember what Hex is called, designed to pump. And a little bit of a pump can send the price up extremely fast. And
where should this pump come from?
Exactly. And it will have some type of defensive mechanism.
No, Karim, where should this pump come from?
Oh,
like I agree to everything, but where should because like think about it. What just happened? What just happened was the fork. So what just happened was that everybody out there got double the amount of Hex in his wallet. What also happened is that traders wanted to trade that and are like thinking about selling off directly after the fork or even front running the fork. Then we have like lots of people who are thinking they should buy Hex right now because their goal is Pulse or Pulse X. So on both chains, right after the fork, like the 1 day, 2 days afterward, I see extreme sell pressure, like more sell pressure than after the big payday. Why? Because on the East chain, they want to sell, and on the Pulse chain, they want to sell it for Pulse or Pulse X.
I don't see it like that, because you're underestimating the amount of money that's also sitting on the sideline ready to catch that dip. So again, it's very, very dangerous to assume.
But this money won't be there. This money won't be on the Pulse chain because we both agree that stable coins will be only added a few days.
I understand, but listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in the beginning, It's about ratio. Nobody got more coins than
Yeah,
the OA. OA can buy anybody out. My point is, if a
yeah,
pair is
but the
going to be
OA only
sales,
has hex. Okay,
what?
the OA has also pulse and
Of
pulse X.
course,
No, no, sorry,
if
I
a
go back.
certain, yeah,
I go.
if parity is the goal and the automatic harvester bot is going to go in to take all the coins to make the ratio
Yeah.
so small that when you come in, when you're trying to buy, because there's going to be FOMO, because there's a lot of people that got money on the sideline that are literally just waiting for that 24 to 48 hour window to start buying hex, because some people are literally trying, they think they're smart, right? They're trying to do the buy the rumor, sell the news. So they got to be able to buy the rumor just to get that copy. So it's safe to assume that if there's a 24 to 48 hour window before the fork happened, and during that time people remove their liquidity and other people are basically buying because they want to get that copy. It could even be the freaking liquidity provider themselves. They remove both sides and then they start using the money to just buy the price up because they want to get the copy. So the price could rise. So what I'm saying is, going into the copy, forget the sale pressure after the copy, going into the copy, they get a higher valuation. It's the same thing we saw. People who sacrificed at 30 cents, 20 some cents, even if the price went down to 3 cents, the value recorded was the 30 cents. So the value of how many hex they're going to get and the value on the copy is going to be what they're going to be able to automatically swap for Pulsechain. They can care less about what happens to the east side the minute after the copy, because they're going to be worried about what's going on Pulsechain anyway. And I argue that not only people are going to come in, but the effect of people coming in at the last minute, plus the fact that the liquidity is going to be small, because liquidity is going to be removed, it's not going to take a lot of money to pump the price up. First of all, it doesn't even take a lot of money in crypto term to go back to all-time high. It's only about like $50 to $100 million. In big crypto term, that's not a lot of money. We can go back to all-time high with less than that. Now, if you lower the liquidity, even with like a $3 to $5 million, you can send hex above 10 cents, just like this. So all that to say, it's very dangerous to think that hex is not going to be catapulted, especially knowing the system state we are now.
But you know, the 10 cents is only 3x from now. So I see more potential in Pulse Dogecoin
it's an example, Patrick. It's an example. It could be more. It could be more. I'm just giving you an example. Remember,
but I still want to disagree and want to argue why I disagree. So yes, everything you say might happen like that, but I still don't see like this push of the hex price. Why? Because we will be like pretty close before the fork. And we saw that like to all these events, we have front runners of the event itself, the traders, who don't care about the fork of hex. They just care what is the hex price now, what is the hex price then. And by
but
having so
little,
but by having so little liquidity, I don't think that the buying pressure will surpass the selling pressure, especially in the 48 hour before the fork, if we both agree that liquidity providers will start to extract
before the
their
fork, the
liquidity
selling pressure is going to be small. It wouldn't make sense for people to sell before getting their copy. That doesn't make sense. If they are aware that by selling,
if the price is that high, it makes a lot of sense.
Well,
If
it depends on how
you
high the
sold the
price
copy
goes.
for the big payday and then you bought the low afterwards, you made a
but
huge
you saw the
increase in your
run. You
price.
saw the run pre-big payday. My point is, you were arguing that you wanted to get into
Yes.
PLSD. I'm just arguing that having hex will pump more than having the PLSD. That was my argument. That was the initial argument. I was just trying to tell you why I'd rather go into the fork with hex than going with the PLSD, because the hex to me is more valuable as the copy. This is the reason why some people even started to potentially sell their Hedron back to hex to go into the copy, because they already want to have that copy versus the other copy. So you don't understand that there's a lot of buying power that can come from multiple directions. People selling Ethereum for hex, people selling Hedron for hex, people using their USDC to buy for hex. So if and also let's not forget, if when you get to parity and you get a copy,
I don't think that there is so much buying pressure like in the very last days before the fork, because I think the announcement by that by that time the announcement was already made a few weeks before, because I'm pretty sure that by that
I
point of
don't think we're
time
gonna have
Richard
few
will
weeks, Patrick.
announce it
I
like
don't think we're gonna have few weeks.
announce he announced Hex. So like
No, I
3
don't
weeks
think we're gonna
before,
have
two and
few
a
weeks.
half weeks before.
To create FOMO, you're not gonna get few. That's too much time. You're gonna get 2, maybe 3 days. That's what I think. I don't think you're gonna get few weeks. That's too much time. Because you'll give too much time to the trader
Why
to do
should that
the
be?
manipulation.
Why should that be like too much time? I don't think so, because like
Because
also
the
now
true
like
Hexicans are already in position. They're already
With
prepared.
the Maximus Perpetuals, best real market example right now. We had
Mhm.
21 days, 3 weeks, and
Yep.
still on the 22nd and 23rd and 24th day, people are like, oh fuck, I missed out, and buy. That's why on all the perpetuals we already have a
Yeah,
premium.
but that's a different thing. Perpetuals for those who want to play that. I'm talking about the hardcore Hexicans. Some of the hardcore Hexicans, those who have money, they may not say touch that. They just prefer do native game, staying with the native hex. All I'm saying is this: I don't think you're gonna get multiple weeks
Depending on the
because
value.
yeah, and then especially knowing that people have been waiting for Pulse Chain for a while. So if it's ready to go once it gets announced, I'm saying once it gets announced, you get maybe 3 days, 3 to 4 days tops. You're not gonna get weeks. When it gets announced, it's gonna be
Uh,
like,
why
hey,
do you think so? Why do you think that it's not
because we're ready to go.
beneficial for Hex, for Pulsechain, for PulseX, and the whole ecosystem if
Mhm.
Richard goes to like 10 different streams before Pulsechain comes really out? What he did before the Hex launch, he was on Ivan on Tech, he was on several streamers before the
But
Hex
that's already
launch.
done. Remember, that's already done, and people already sacrificed. So it's like that work is done. At this point, it's about getting to market. You need to understand something too. Like we lost something that was really cool. We're supposed to be the largest, airdrop ever in history. He took that off his bio. Why is that? Because if W is already doing that in the other one. So at this point, it's about, like you say, it's about getting to market. Why are we gonna wait for extra people? If you're a true Hexican and you've been waiting for Pulse Chain, you already know what time it is. You already know. You just are you already sacrificed. Chances are you're ready to just the fork to happen. You may not even have extra quote unquote ammo to add, and you already know. We've been saying to people, if you're late, you buy Hex, you hold that with that copies, and then you use the copy to buy Pulse or Pulse X. So people already know what the playbook is as the easy way out. They don't need another 2 weeks because we nonstop talk about Hex Pulse Pulsing every day, and we've been talking about it since the delay. So we already have had plenty and plenty of time. The people that I'm talking about that can come last minute, I'm
Yeah, but
talking about heavy
don't.
hitters.
But we want to have like the maximum eyeballs possible at the start of Pulse Chain, and
Yes, and
by
we
having
will.
that in my
Trust
point of
me.
view, it's good to have like 2 or 3 weeks of before time that everybody can communicate with friends and
People are ready to go. Trust
sacrificers,
me on that.
or
There's a
people
reason
who want
why.
to get in and
I'll give
didn't
you
and
another
so on.
example. There's a reason why, even just today, when Richard was just joking, he just put hi, and then you got 2,000 likes. Make no mistake about it. People are watching. We're the only cool things to talk about right now. Where are all the scam? Where are all that? They're gone. All the people that are promoting all the CFI, they're gone. They're in hiding. All the people who are promoting all the NFTs, gone. That shit's down 97%. There's nothing else to talk about the bear market but the launch of Pulse Chain and what we're doing, and then maybe the fight that we're doing right now. We're the only cool community that got something to talk about right now. So those people are not
Yeah.
talking, but they are definitely watching. The moment Richard tweet, they're gonna be there. Look at what happened to ETH-W. ETH-W. The moment he was there, which was the top community that was there quick was the Hexicans, because we don't
100%.
miss a beat. That already tells you we're locked and loaded. We're ready. This is the reason why some people are frustrated. They're so ready, they're frustrated, and I'm like, guys, just go walk outside. Like, you know what I mean? It's not ready. It will be ready when it's ready. So they are ready.
Karim, there's something that I want to ask you about Richard because I think you said it so fast it maybe slid by. What did Richard Hart take out of his bio? Was it something regarding Pulse Chain?
One of his bio was largest hairdrop that
Oh,
he used to put in the bio. It's no longer there.
I'm still using it.
That's fine, but I love Richard because he's being factually correct. Because the other fork happened and he fork copy all the network. So I was just trying to let Hex Lion know that like we already a little bit behind schedule and we're trying to go to market as soon as it's safe to do so. We're not gonna get to safe to do so and then waste another 2 weeks just because we're trying to. No, It's gonna, and actually,
Is it really that complicated? I disagree that it is really that complicated. You know, I know from my dev team, like, okay, this is like the last bug or something like that, what we need to fix. We need at most 2 weeks for that. And then I can just make a live stream and say, in 3 weeks, we are done. Then in 2 weeks, they
no,
have the
because
last
you
bug
gotta
fixed. Okay,
understand
a week
something.
more. Or what is
If it's ready and people have been waiting for a while, they're not going to want to be ready to wait longer than that because we want to get to market. Because we need to not act as if it launched and then after that, even after the fork, nobody else is going to buy. No, like we got bigger things to fry. Like for example, getting the on and off ramp exchange, like he's doing right now, all this other stuff. That's more important than just worried about a one event, whatever. We're not traders. We're Hexicans with delayed gratification. We spend time in the market. So we don't care so much about a single event just so that we give enough time for the traders to come in and pump the price and then dump on our heads. No, that's stupid. The quicker we do it, the quicker we get it over with, the better it will be. Because a lot of those traders, a lot of those people that didn't believe, they already exit. They already don't have enough hex. 800 million, like Abby said earlier, it has been locked in the perpetual. People don't realize there's not that much hex liquid. There's not that much. There is not that much. So it's actually better as a surprise to just go with it so that we don't open a window for people to come and pump the price to crazy number and then dump on people's heads. It's actually better to do it 3 days because the diehard Hexicans, they're already ready. They don't need more than that. And now with the ETH, you already are learning how to add a network, how to do this other stuff. So you're ready to go. On Stake Lab, you won't have to do anything. It's going to just be there ready to go for you to use. So it's actually in our best interest to do a short, ready to go. And then when the trader wants to come in, then they can go pump the Pulsechain and all this other stuff.
So to bring it back to the question again, Karim, what do you think, how many days will Richard Hart give us before the actual launch and the announcement? How many days will there be between?
I think my guess, again, I could be wrong, but my guess is we're not going to get more than 3 to 4 days. And that's
Patrick,
not even get 48 hours.
Patrick, what would be your idea? You are saying like longer would be a little bit better. What is your idea? What would be good in your opinion?
My thought is 3 weeks. I mean, I have no problem with 3 days. You know, I personally have no problem with 3 days. But I would prefer 3 weeks.
I have Davis here in the chat saying every day Pulse doesn't launch, I feel more confident in my investment. And like one point of that could be as long as it takes as more time other developers have time to build their front apps, build their products, and also bring along already a community. So yeah, I think Davis is right. As long as it takes, as more and more hype we will see in the future, right? So
and Abby, to that point, you can also argue that if, let's say, back in the day, you know, the May date was the day, end of May, whatever, June. Since then, we have had months. And assuming, let's say, Pulsechain doesn't launch until another, I don't know, 2 months or next year. That's another 2-3 months for people to accumulate. So in other words, if that much time has been already given to people, way past even sacrifice time, it's safe to assume, common sense, that when then it's ready, we should quickly go to production because so much time has already passed. And if people were actually serious about doing the investment, they would have used that extra time to buy the hex and be ready for their copy. Does that make sense? So that's the way I look at it. So that guy in the chat is absolutely right. So the longer we got more time, people get more ready, which then means by the time it is ready, we're not going to wait another 3 weeks. That makes no sense to me.
All right, so we have already talked about the strategies when it comes to level 1, learning T-shares, level 2, maybe using some other projects. Level 3, I think we will get into this topic right now when it comes to Pulsechain, PulseX. Like Karim, what do you think, where are the biggest innovations that we see right now with Pulsechain and PulseX, maybe for some of the newer viewers? I remember when we were just starting talking about this product, we were just amazed by Pulsechain. Later on, when we learned more game theory of PulseX, then we realized, man, that's probably gonna be the winner here. So what do you think? Will it be Pulsechain outperforming, or is it PulseX? What is for you the more innovative product out there right now?
Well, for me, number one, related to that, like I tell my people, the sticker class, is that we're not gamblers. We're not trying to pick sides. We win everywhere. We turn everything to a money printer. We do staking on Pulsechain. We do staking on PulseX. We don't even need to worry about impermanent loss. We do one-way staking. We park that baby, and then we chill. So now we got multiple copies of Hex cooking every day. we got our Pulse chain cooking, we got our Pulsex cooking. Because if you really understand the tokenomics of Pulse chain and Pulsex and the buyback and burn and all this other stuff, you definitely understand that providing liquidity in the beginning is a stupid idea, number one. And then actually you also
Why?
well, because if especially in the beginning, if you start to pump and we get USDC and everything runs, if you provide liquidity both sides.
Yeah, let's say Pulse versus Pulse X liquidity.
Okay, that one, yeah. Again, let me explain. That's a good question. So you already understand the USD one is a no-brainer, obviously. Now, Pulse versus Pulse.
That we already saw, like
Yes.
in the
Before
Hex
even-
East chart in the first year, in the Hex USDC chart, huge impermanent loss. Never provide liquidity there, please.
Yes. Now I'm gonna give you an OG quick math from back in the day. We'll see who pay attention, who actually remember that, because I said that back in the day, and Richard also backed it up. And then he said, is 2/3 you do when you were doing like the ratios and all the hex stuff. You were doing back in the day you were doing 2/3 1/3 pulse, okay, and then. No, hold on, sorry. It was 2/3 pulse, 1/3 X, because then when the hex copy is like it's like you're having your 2/3.
It's
So I was
50-50.
getting that
Yeah.
exactly, getting that equality set up. And then now inside that ratio, because now we had the pulse hex sacrifice that came in afterwards, I will say to my guys, figure out the ratio that you think you're comfortable with between pulse and pulse X, and then set up that ratio and then let it run. I'll give you an example. One of my friends missed the pulse chain sacrifice. He missed it. All he had was the pulse X sacrifice. So as soon as when anything comes in, he went heavy and he got bonus points. He's gonna swap some pulse X for pulse. Why? Because he doesn't have any pulse. Make sense? And he wants to do it like a 50-50. So he's gonna be selling half of the stuff that he got for pulse chain. And since he got an extra like 15% bonus, he's going to be able to leverage that 15% bonus as well to get part of the copy. And then once he gets to the ratio that he wants, he's going to just be able to just let it ride. Because the problem is, let's say everybody got a different ratio. Somebody is half. Some people is 1/3. Some people is 2/3 of this, 1/3 that. But then let's say you provide liquidity. If the pair goes against what you had thought in mind, all of a sudden your ratio is messed up, because you start to get more of the coin that you didn't want, and you get more of the coin that less of the
Yeah,
coin
but
that,
in the sense of Pulse and Pulse X, I want to have both coins, right? So like
you do.
I
But
sacrifice for both.
let's say for argument's sake, let's say you were one of those that say I want to do 50-50, okay? And then you have 50-50, and then you provide liquidity, and all of a sudden one run more than the other one temporarily, because again it could change. Temporary one runs because everybody's pumping Pulse chain in the beginning. Because oh my god, Pulse chain on ramp,
And it doesn't matter so much on Pulse X, because Pulse X is a fork of Uniswap V2 or PancakeSwap, and that means that you cannot put a range. So you have like the open-ended range for each and every liquidity position. So you
yes,
cannot be like all out into one coin.
that
Like
is
you
true.
can
But
be
let's say you
with
provide
range.
symmetrical liquidity, right? Both sides, right? And then all of a sudden your
Mhm.
50-50 turn like this. And let's say you were to remove, now all of a sudden you get less of this coin, more of that coin. And then you don't want to have to worry about the fluctuation. Again, for some people, they don't want to worry about their ratio being messed up. So they'll just set it up whatever they want it to be set up at. And then guess what? Boom, you turn them both individually into a money printer by delegating the Pulse chain, earning yield over there in Pulse, and then by staking one way the Pulse X, so you don't have to worry about losing any of that. Again, that to me
Do you really
is
think
the
that
safest.
Pulse staking will be worth it?
Oh, of course, because remember in the beginning.
Why?
Well, again, some people have a lot of Pulse. And some people, they just don't want to touch the Pulse. They want to just lock it away, because it's about protecting yourself from yourself. This is something that's important to keep
Yeah, okay,
in mind.
that's like another reason what you gave me right now, but I was more asking why you think there is a good yield on Pulse
I
for
wouldn't say that the yield is
validating your
as good
Pulse.
as HEX, but I can see in the beginning.
And that's definitely the case, but
Exactly.
it's like
I
way
can see
lower.
in the beginning, again, looking at what Ethereum Beacon Chain has done in the past, in the beginning, you can get double-digit yield. You can get anywhere from 10 to 12%. Because guess what? In the beginning, especially, everybody's going to be too busy running around like chicken with their heads cut off because they're trying to trade, because the volatility is going to be insane. I am telling you, people that are going to say, oh, I'm going to stake, they're not going to stake. They're going to go trade. The wise people that listen to what we're talking about, they're going to go first in the pool, and they're going to be earning a crazy APY.
Yeah, but that's no, that's not the case for validating your pulls, because for validating your pulls you only get parts of the fee, and it doesn't matter how big the volume is. We know that the fees will be that cheap,
I
especially in
understand,
the
but
beginning.
remember, the pulse price is also dirt cheap in the beginning. What you're saying is correct, but remember how the fee works. The fee is collected and then it's paid to the pool, to the people that are in the pool who delegate it. All I'm saying is, if not a lot of people delegate in the beginning, and you're one of the few that delegate, although the fee is small, I give you that, it's you're still getting more coin than as if more people come in, because over time, as the price stabilizes itself, more people will stay. So I'm talking about ratio here. I'm saying the amount of people in the beginning versus in later will be different. Therefore, it's in your best interest to start early to earn as much as you can before it starts to get less and less. And then this is where the bond math kicks in. More people stake in. Yes, your yield goes lower, but the price goes exponentially higher. Who cares if you get 5% yield and then the price do 100x? That 5% becomes 500%. So people need to do the both side of the math. It's bond math. So you get less yield, but also price goes up, and it's deflationary too. So let's not forget that. So you can run really up really fast, and just by you not losing your coin is an alpha by itself, because everybody else is busy trading and getting wrecked. You're just conserving your power, which then goes up in price. That's one way. Another way, like you said, if you don't care and you want to gamble in between and let the liquidity, yes, go do that.
It's not about gambling. It's also, it can also be like a really long-term play, you know, like let's say you have a bunch of pulls and pulls X, then just take a percentage what you are comfortable with, a percentage out of that, you know, and then you say, okay, in this percentage, I don't care if I get like only this coin or only this coin, and then yeah, you can just like
Like, let me
provide
give you some free
liquidity,
alpha for
earn
people. If you want to
earn
use
the
liquidity
incentive
providing, right?
token. You know, you can dump the incentive token for more hex, and there you have the whole
I tell
circle,
you
you
what
know.
I would do to get the
So
incentive token, right? So to recap, right? I get all
yeah.
my copies, I set my ratios, I park everything as a money printer as soon as possible, so I get the highest yield possible, right? So my Pulse is stake, my Pulse X is stake, and guess what? If, and I can't wait for it, you give me a EXPX liquidity pool, I will be there. I will be there with you, and this is how I will earn my incentive token.
Karim,
It's
I have a
free.
question to that. I have a question to that. It are those are two things, right? So the EHEX PHEX pool on PulseX is something different, as if I'm talking about cross bridging hex. Like for the bridge, I would need like another time
Yeah, you will
liquid
need the
hex, right?
wrapper.
On
You will need
both ends.
the wrapper. Yeah, but just to make it less
Yeah.
complicated, I didn't talk about the wrap. I was just saying it's EXPX. But basically, you will have the
Mm-hmm.
Pulse X, and then you're gonna have the wrapped EX that just came from the other side
Yeah,
to
yeah,
create
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
bridge. And I know for a
Yeah.
fact it's mathematically perfect to go provide liquidity for that, because you're doing so many good things at the same time. Number one, like you said, you're earning fees because you're providing the liquidity. Number two, you're earning, ideally in the fee, you want it to be the incentive token, which is the things you want to earn. And number three, equally genius, you're creating the bondage that's going to make EX and PX equal. So if one starts to run crazy, the other one goes with it, because you're forcing it to become like this one is equal to the other one. Therefore, it's gonna allow it to be like strong bonding pair. Like if we can get like billions of hex on both sides to be there, that's gonna basically
Mm-hmm.
truly double our bags. So this is why, again, mathematically,
And that's like what my question is about. Do we
yeah.
need the billions of hex in the pool on PulseX, or do we only need the billions of hex in the bridge contract?
I think we need it in the bridge because you need to bridge it in
I
first,
also
and
I
then
also
you
think
add it to the pool.
like I
Yeah,
also think yeah
yeah.
exactly and the pool
But let's
that's
assume all that
how the
gets done,
pool
right?
like be beneficial, you know, because like
Yeah.
if the OA would need to put like everything in the pool, what kind of fee will you earn, you know, if you have like 0.000
But
something
we don't know
percent of the
that. But
pool.
that's my point. We don't know that. If people are
Yeah.
educated and willing to provide liquidity over there, understanding that they most likely are not going to really get impermanent loss because it's the same hex.
Mhm,
If the community
mhm,
bound towards that, then the OA doesn't have to
mhm,
go there and provide liquidity. Because you need to understand,
mhm.
OA to me is kind of like
Yeah,
last
but
resort.
still, like
If nobody
in the
provides
bridge
it, he has
contract,
to provide it.
we need like this bunch of liquidity, right?
Well, yeah, but that's for people to bridge.
Uh,
That's for people to come in.
because
So
like if not, we would see like an exchange in the bridge, right?
yes,
Because like if
yes,
I send my hex from the East chain to the Pulse chain, it
yes.
becomes wrapped hex,
Yes.
and
Wrapped
no,
EX.
but
Yep. Mhm.
only then in the like where is the ratio shift? No, but only then in the next step, if I would sell my e-hex for hex on the pulse chain, I would move ratios. So no, that would mean that the volume, the liquidity would need to be in the liquidity pair and not only in the bridge.
Exactly. Both. Because there's two action here. First, you need the coin to exist on the other chain. And then second, you need
Yeah.
to use that the search coin. You need to then use it to then provide the liquidity. So all I'm
Mhm.
saying is OA should be able to facilitate the bridging so people can bring the thing over here. And then if people are smart, this is the safest pair to provide liquidity to without worried about impermanent loss. And you're again basically doubling the value of your bag because by creating this bridge, you're making the two hex kind of go price together, which will be smart.
Mhm.
So that's why to me, that is the best asymmetrical risk reward because I always look at how can I get the maximum alpha with the lowest amount of risk. That's the mistake a lot of people do. They only go with this thing pump like crazy, but then they don't factor the risk. And then if something goes wrong, then they lose everything and then they cry and then they wish they didn't do anything. So I always look at how can I win without losing as small as possible. This is what I said in the beginning, especially because I expect a lot of shenanigans and a lot of volatility. It's smart for me not to trade. And because I don't like dormant capital, if I'm not trading, what should I do? I should stake. And I already got my sacrifice. So I'm already got my entry point and I don't want to create taxable event, blah, blah, blah. So I just do all my staking. And because I've already determined, and that's for everybody, I told them determine that themselves. I've already determined the ratio that I want between my Pulse and my Pulsex. I don't need to go gamble with the trading pair as liquidity provider because I already know my ratio. So I leave it as what it is and I let it run. And then later on, if one perform a little bit less than what I expected and it's in the dip, then maybe I can go buy some more with new capital. I would just go buy some more of that. But I don't have to play the game because if I'm right and then I go provide liquidity and the token that I was seeing as the most valuable is being taken away from me via impermanent loss, I'm not going to be happy. So I
So
prefer.
Karim, let me ask you, since you talked about the ratio, what is a good ratio to have for somebody who wants to play it safe? What is a good ratio to have when you are a little bit more on the aggressive side? Because I have a question here from Crypto Cashew, and he's saying, which one does Karim like more, PLS or PLX? Did I miss it? So first the answer from Karim, afterwards from Patrick.
Good question. So as of right now, because in the beginning I used to be more Pulse, but then Pulsex with the buy and burn that got added later on, if people remember the story, because they added at last minute. I'm right now,
Yeah.
I will say I am 60-40. Okay, let me explain. I believe Pulse Chain is the next Ethereum or better, and I believe Pulse X is the next BNB because I truly believe with the amount of liquidity we're going to have on PulseX and thanks to the automatic harvester bot, no other, especially in the beginning, in my humble belief, no other automatic market maker, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, you name it, none other is going to compete with PulseX. It's not even going to be a
I
fair
agree.
fight. Everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then I asked myself again, quick math. When was the last time I see something like that? History. I remember the Binance dominance back in the day before they even had the USD pair. They were just crypto to crypto dominance. And this is when BNB show around. And I remember that thing was less than $1. And it ran all the way to what it is today, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. At some point, he almost touched, it was on his way to 1,000. So this is how much utility Pulsechain is going to have. Because if you understand BNB token economics, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. This is one of the reasons why out of some of the token in the bear market were down a lot, BNB is only down about 60% because its utility is so strong. So I expect Pulsechain to be the next BNB. For those who don't know, yes, I said it. So, and then Ethereum.
Yeah, because also in the bear market there will be substantial volume going on, and as long as there is volume,
exactly,
we have buy and burn going on. Is it?
Buy and burn, exactly. Pulsechain doesn't care. Yeah. Yep, volume is all he needs, and it's deflationary, which makes it even better than BNB. Because BNB didn't have deflationary action. They had to do the little manually buy back, burn every quarter, whatever.
Yeah.
But they were still kind of inflating. You know what I mean? People don't know that. So now Pulsechain is even better. So now the ratio is, to me, is 60-40. 60% Pulsechain, 40% Pulsechain. That is my ratio right now.
You know, that's funny. It's nearly my ratio as well. I also have more Pulse than Pulsechain.
There you go.
Because and also like as you said, because they added the buy and burn like last.
Exactly, because Pulsechain used to be
Um,
higher. My Pulsechain used to be like 70, 75, but because they added that, it's like boom. Because the Pulsechain token is going to be used for so many things because it's the coin of the consensus network, and
yeah, it's the underlying coin, the native coin.
Exactly. So 60-40, I think you're safe. And the cool thing is that I will, you know, again, it's not financial advice, it's only mathematical advice. If something becomes on the discount, on the dip, instead of swapping and gambling and getting wrecked, if you happen to have new money, this is what you do to now start scooping whatever you start to see. Oh, this one's getting undervalued, it's getting too cheap. Boom, then I can scoop some more with some fresh money. Mm-hmm. But in the beginning, 60-40, you're in a safe zone. You turn those two into a money printer. You start earning yield on both sides. And then when the HEX PX to PX pair comes in, if you're able to provide liquidity for that, that is a safe play. You earn the incentive token, because even Richard said the incentive token doesn't really have a lot of cool tokenomics, but it's going to be free money. And when you know that you're providing liquidity with no impermanent loss and getting free money, that to me is a safe play. Does that make sense? Again, you want to attack, get the alpha, but you want to be able to get your guard up in case something bad happens and you don't feel like, oh shit, I got left behind. Because then you.
So Patrick, what is your idea? You already said it. The ratio is similar to Karim, but since we have new information, right, with the buy and burn, we calculate how much there could be. We get more and more excited. Has your mind changed from the ratio that you put in when we sacrificed to today?
No, because that's like something in the past. So it won't make sense to wrap my hand around it because I cannot change anything. What I can change is like using the buying opportunities once Pulsechain is live, and I will definitely watch the Pulse X ratio. Yes, and we skipped that part a little bit. So do you think it will be like 2 Pulse X for 1 Pulse, or do you think 1-to-1, or
I think,
what
do
might
we
be a
remember
good
exactly
starting
what was
ratio?
the value of the sacrifice? Because it really comes down to also, because they're both deflationary, right? So now we need to figure out before OA action, how much money actually got in there, how much coin actually are generated, because that will kind of tell us.
Yeah, Pulse was about 700 million. Pulse X was about 1.1 billion.
Exactly. So now, even though the Pulsechain, this is the trick, even though the Pulsechain has more money than the Pulsechain one, if people are paying
And also more
attention,
total supply. Also more total supply.
more total supply, so it's most likely going to be lower. But also, if people were paying attention to what I said earlier, remember, there's a lot of people, my friends included, who miss the Pulsechain. They were using Pulsechain as a vehicle to then push that money back to Pulsechain. So some of that 1.1 billion, yes, it's bigger than the 700, but you need to understand some of that money is already pre-mentally allocated for Pulsechain. So people need to get that. That's very important because you don't want to get confused thinking, oh, Pulsechain is going to outtake Pulsechain. No, that might not happen. So, and then once you have those two, when they settle down, then you're looking at that 60-40 ratio. So if, for example, one was to be $1, just an example, right? Then the other one should be gravitated around 60 to 80 cents. So depending on what the price is. But Patrick said it best. I won't care about the USD. I will look at the ratio because they're all gonna pump crazy against the USD. So if you focus on USD, you're gonna get
it's like in the first 2 years, I don't want to. I mean, I will have a look. Yeah, I will watch it obviously, but I
Yep.
won't like look at the price to look for exit
Because
points
it'll be
because you
very
know it's ordered
misleading.
by Hex. It's like
Yep.
it's yeah.
I,
I already made that mistake in 2020 that I sold too much Hex too early. So.
I don't know how I ended up with that ratio that I have right now because I wanted from the beginning have a 50-50 ratio, but now once the sacrifices, which are the sacrifices are over, I looked into how many coins do I have, and I ended up with basically the opposite of what you have. I would say I have like 60-40, what more on PulseX, maybe even like 65 to 30. Something like this.
Because
Definitely
we
a little
followed
bit.
you on the 5555 tour.
Definitely
We
a little bit
followed
more
you.
on PulseX, and I'm so happy with that because
Yep.
Jake Sharp says it's really nice. Layer 1 bias is really a thing. People will think, well, layer 1 Pulsechain must be more worth than Hex, must be more worth than PulseX. I mean, it is the layer 1, right? Later on, they will then understand, wow, this buy and burn function in PulseX that we have is amazing. And then I think PulseX will outperform everything. So short term Pulsechain for me, longer term definitely PulseX for me here for sure.
Yeah, because the buy and burn becomes more valuable as the price goes higher, as the volume increases, so it's more money. But the cool thing, Patrick, is that I want everybody to remember something too. Whatever ratio that you did, if you're able to catch the sacrifice or both of them, you already won. I don't want people to be stressed out. Oh, my ratio is fucked, this and that. You already won. Relax. Now, if you want to make it a little bit better, understand what we talked about, understand what we said about some people sacrificing PulseX because they missed the Pulsechain. That's important. So it could be a little misleading thinking, oh, this one got more money than that one, therefore this one's going to be more valuable. If that's your thesis, it's incomplete because some of that money is already allocated somewhere else, and you don't want to be surprised thinking, I'm going to keep loading.
And it might be exactly that's why it might be the other way around, because as people are swapping PulseX for Pulse, what it means is that the ratio PulseX to Pulse will go in favor for Pulse, obviously, and then exactly like at those kind of points when this ratio goes in favor of Pulse, you should consider buying PulseX, and if this ratio gets in favor of PulseX, then you
Buy
can
Pulse.
consider to buy Pulse.
Exactly. And this is what ideally what Xline is saying is a great strategy. And ideally, you want to try to do that with new capital if you have it. So it's kind of the analogy of like you're buying the one that becomes undervalued and you just add to your position. So that way you get to where you want to go just by adding instead of subtracting, because the most dangerous thing you can do is start playing, oh, ratio went this way, I swap over there. Oh, and then he went the other way, then I swap. And then next thing you know, you're just burning your coin. You're just being eat. You become the meat grinder and you're just losing coin on both sides. You don't want to do that. You want to add to position ideally and let it run. Because then when they run and they run in USD, that's why it becomes very, very good. It's like back in the day, I'll give you another example. Back in the day, but not too long ago. It's the same thing I did with Hedron. Everybody was worried about, oh, the USD, this doesn't. Nah, it's going to pump because it's about the ratio. Those who did the math understood. If this thesis reached success, one Hedron is a B share, which means the ratio can go as low as one hex is 1,000 Hedron, 1 to 1,000. And I bought the dip. I literally, to the day I die, I still brag about that. I bought the bottom, 200,000 to 1. When I told my friend this is gonna go somewhere, and then they literally dump in my face. I told some sharks they just get rid of it, and I just went to scoop with my friends because I knew this was undervalued because this thing gonna go somewhere. And he ran all the way to 7,000 to 1 as a ratio, and right now it's sitting at roughly 11,400 and then 10,000
Yes.
ratio
Yes.
on the ETH. And somebody could argue it's technically near parity already, because if you factor in the 10x bonus, 1,000 to 1, and then you add the 10x bonus for the early people, it becomes 10,000 to 1, which is why ratios are more important. I never cared about the USD. I was looking at ratio. What's the ratio of hex to hedron? Same thing people need to think about when they go into Pulsechain. Don't get shiny object USD. Oh my God, price went up so high. Because sometimes you could sell early thinking the price went up a lot, not understanding that it can go up a lot more. That's how people sold the 3x, the 4x, the 5x hedron, and then he went all the way to 13x.
Karim, one question for the, is it really like just the easy math that you can say like one B share? Because I always thought that it's like one B share divided by 3, because like with a 5555 stake you can 3x your shares, so it should be like a third of the B share price,
It
because you
could,
get like one hedron per day
yes,
per B
it could, but
share,
the
and
problem
then
is
you
most.
can create a B share 3 times with 3 times less hex than you know what
It
I mean?
could be technically.
Yeah.
I thought about it too, but the reason I didn't is because most people are still not quattro synchroing. Although the staking average is moving towards that direction, the big money,
Are
the
you
big
sure
hex that's
about that?
moving, it's still not fully quattro synchro. So I had to look at it
Yeah,
as
yeah,
just
but
hex value.
okay, that's yeah, but do we need to calculate those? Because those shouldn't have any claim bonus anymore, because you're talking about like this 45 on average short-term stakes, right? Where a lot of them moved into the perpetuals now.
Yeah, but some old
So
school have
do you
long-term stakes.
do we really need to compare it with those? No, I would say we need to compare it with the 555 stake, because what will happen in the future if somebody makes an HSI stake? So if
Yeah.
you just look at the HSI stakes, there you have like more than 80% 5555,
That
what
is true,
I
but if you
remember.
do a ratio of HSI stake versus netty stake, it's still small. Unfortunately, it's still a insignificant number. Therefore,
Volume wise. Yeah,
volume,
yeah,
yes,
volume
and
wise.
because
Okay,
that
okay.
number is still very very low and not the majority, I
But
cannot put that
also
in the
T-share
calculation.
wise? Also
Yes,
T-share wise, Kareem?
yes,
Okay.
because sadly, there's still a lot of people that move a lot of money in what I call rotation stakes, 45 days, whatever. There's still a lot of hex there. Now, give it another year, 2 year, or 3, what you say will be absolutely correct. But right now, it's too soon. And because it's too soon, this is the reason why we have still a lot of liquidity floating around, a lot of hedron floating around. When this gets absorbed and burned and whatever, hedron is really going to fly faster, because now the liquidity will only be onto the people who have those massive stake. And if those people never sell their hedron, that creates a supply shock. And if the new people coming in are coming in with a worse share rate and they don't even have the 10x bonus, the rate of inflation of hedron also exponentially goes down, which is going to make it go pumping even more. It will become like a triple halving, like how Ethereum has it now. So what you're describing, it's to come.
Yeah, but how? I mean, okay, if Hex price wise is pumping, totally agree with the T-Tron goes with
It's
it.
just education.
But
A lot more people need to
what you
be.
said before
Yeah.
with the ratio, which is
Yeah.
currently at 11,500 around,
Yes.
you said like, okay, with the 10x bonus, like only looking at 10x bonus, it might
Yes.
be 10,000.
Yes.
If we just go like with the one B share, it might be 1,000. And if
Yes.
we divide like this B shared by 3, it's 3,000, right?
Exactly.
So
And I
how
firmly
much
believe
can it still
eventually it's gonna go there.
outperform?
Yes.
No, like what it tells me, it's like there is at most a 10x versus the hex price possible. At
But
most a 10x.
did you hear what you just said? You said the 10x versus the hex price. That is insane. That is massive. That means if hex pump 100 times and then you 10x against hex, that means you went up 1,000 times. It's very
Yeah,
important. It's
like I
not
mean,
USD. We're talking about hex
look at the
ratio.
Hedron versus Hex chart. Hedron
Yeah,
versus Hex, top to bottom is 12x, and then look at the Pulse Doge chart. That's 20x
I
versus
understand.
Hex.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm talking about something that has more long-term viability. I'm talking about something that can print your money guarantee every week. Pulse Doge, people don't understand is this. Once you sell the coin, it's done. Hedron, if that parity
That's not
stays,
true. He will come out with Pulse Bitcoin where you can stake your Pulse
Hey,
Dogecoin and then you
what,
get
what,
back. And don't shake
what
your
do you
head
say?
because it's the same thing like Hedron and Icosa. When you stake your Hedron, you get another coin. And now you're shaking your head when I tell you like you can stake this coin and get another coin.
No,
Oh
I
no,
didn't
that's
say
like
that.
stupid.
My point is this. Understand something. Again, put yourself in my shoes, okay? I print about 1 billion Hedron per week. Let me say that again for those who
Yeah,
missed it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I print about 1 billion Hedron per week. My point is, it's in my best interest, and most people who have Hex, a lot of t-shirt, it's in their best interest to help this guy pump 10x because the value of the weekly yield that they can potentially generate from that or monthly or whatever is greater than pumping something that might have just like a one-off, and then once you potentially sell it, there's no multiplication that comes from it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the Pulsar is not going to pump. I'm just saying when you look at the valuation and the hex hedron ratio and knowing what hex is going to do, plus the copy you're
Yeah.
going to get, to me, it's a greater alpha. Not because it's going to go up 10x. It goes 10x against hex. And then hex, I expect it to do another 100x. So that's 1,000x that I'm looking at. And then I'm looking at the weekly value generated every week of the new coin because it's minted for free. For free. My cost basis is 0. I get this for free. The Pulse Doge, I have to
Yeah,
buy
even worse, or to encourage like new people to buy it.
You know what I mean?
I disagree on that because I think that's bad and leads like to more and more sell pressure in the end. So
Not
I rather
necessarily.
I
It's a
rather
follow.
I rather buy something which has not such a huge inflation.
That is wrong. Again, you're missing the Richard Hart teachings. Hex, Bitcoin have a massive inflation in the beginning, yet it pump. You need incentive. It's math. People are incentive. We don't just go pump Hedron because we love it. We pump it because we got it for free. We see the long-term value, so we want to pump it even more because the yield
Yeah, but
becomes more valuable.
but let's go back to Richard. So let's go back to Pulse and Pulse X. Pulse and Pulse X are also coins where the total supply is set in stone before, and from there they don't have any inflation.
But
So
it
so
starts with
I don't get your
trillions and
point. It's like
trillions of coins. It
look at
doesn't start
Richard,
with a
what
little bit.
Richard did, and now he comes like exactly with those tokenomics, no inflation, deflation.
But they serve different purpose. Number one, they start with a huge base, and number two, the way it's designed is that some of those coins are then used to pay for the staking yield. Like some of the extra coin, most likely OA is going to be using that to put as an incentive to pay for the delegators and the validators. So my point is that it's not exactly the same pound for pound versus something like Hedron, which look like something like Hex. Because remember the token economics, the higher the Hedron value goes, the more valuable Hex staking becomes. Because now I'm incentivized to buy more Hex to stake it for long to then mint the free Hedron, which is now more valuable in price. So the higher Hedron goes, again, there's multiple incentives that are connected. Me pumping Hedron do so many multiple things good for me. Okay, it makes my Hex stakings more valuable. It incentivizes other people to stake, which makes the whole system better. And it gives me an incentive to say, you know what? I'm not going to sell my Hedron. I'm going to keep it because it's going to become more valuable. I can turn it into a money printer. And if I want, I can even go stake it and then, get the ICOSA thing. So the point is there's synergy that's created between the three coin versus something that's just kind of like outside that synergy. That is just a regular staking coin that I can get from any other coin. So why would I just go buy something and stake to get a staking when I can buy something that has multi-connection with other things by creating multiple incentives? That's the way I look at it. You know what I mean?
Because I don't want to put my portfolio like just in one basket because it doesn't really matter that much if it's like in Hex or Icosa or Hedron, because they are bounded so
No,
much
it's not one
together.
basket. They do
And
different
uh,
things.
and I mean I'm sure that a coin which has no inflation
Mhm.
should end up in more upside potential, right?
Yes and then no. It needs to have product market fit. It's like saying every coin that went down a lot, 99%, you should buy it because it's gonna go up. No, it needs a reason. It needs to have
No.
product market fit.
Yeah.
PLS Doji is a
Mhm.
meme. What happened when the meme is over? You know what I mean? And again, what I'm saying is to each their own. People can do whatever they want. You're asking my opinion. I'm just giving you my opinion why I look at things that have more synergy, that's more connected, which by the way was given to us for free. Let's not forget that. So it was easy to become a bag holder. It was easy to adopt. It follows the ethos of Hex.
Same goes with Pulsechain, bro. It was also
So-
given to free.
I mean, one last thing. The inflation, which you agree, is slowing down rapidly over time, thanks to the function of the sharing. So the fact that they are connected is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So it's going to mimic what the Hex is doing about lowering the inflation over time by by making it more and more scarce. And yes, you can put all your eggs in one basket as long as you watch the basket. And I am watching the basket. And that's why Andrew Carnegie said best. Happy to you.
Well, putting all our eggs in one basket is what we Hexicans like to do. And Karim, you talked about the value proposition about Hedron, for example, and why they are not valid for PLSD. So we definitely need to hear Hex Lion's point of view when it comes to PLSD and where your value really lies. And so, Patrick, please go on with PLSD. Where is the value proposition for you? Why do you think it is so valuable in the future?
Yeah, I mean, no, the tokenomics at first are good, you know, no inflation. It's creating scarcity as well. It looks that they are putting their liquidity to Hex or to Hedron. So there is like Hedron Pulse Doge, Hex Pulse Doge, and Pulse Doge USDC. So it also pumps a little bit together with the other coins, and you also get like the new opportunity by having the option to stake that to earn another coin as a yield, like you have it with Hedron and Icosta, for example. And why should the meme be over? I don't get like the sentence. Well, what is when the meme is over? It's like what if
Well, that's what Pulse
you
Doge
know,
is.
I
It's a
don't
meme
get
coin.
the,
And
yeah, but
that's how they
but
brand
it's
themselves
a
now.
meme.
What happened to
Yeah,
meme
it's a
coin
meme
when
coin.
the hype
What
is
do
over?
you, but what do you mean? Like when the meme is over, there is like
The hype.
there will always be this dog logo, you know, like the dog is not going to die, or
I'll
what
give
do
you
you
an
mean? Like when the
example
meme is
so
over?
you understand. Because again, you need to again, and Abby, I love you. I'm just giving the same critical thinking, the same thing we were talking to people that are regular Dogecoin or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think
Because
our
we just
audience
gotta be
loves it,
fair
so
all
go
across the
ahead.
board.
It's
Because
perfect.
it's important because years down the line, if something bad happened, I want people to understand that I've said this on your show. So you need something that have lasting value. This is why I only talk about things that's gonna have lasting value. And I'm gonna quote Richard again. The thing with meme coin is phase. If you're early enough and you catch the wave and you catch the phase, then that's cool. But if you buy the top and then there's no other things to keep it sustainable, and then people are on to playing to the next meme coin, the Pulse, Doge, whatever, you know, like they always create variants after that. Then they on to run into the next thing, and then your thing, there's only thing
But you
before
know
that's
that you're talking from a position where you're talking for about two coins which already had once or twice, like Hex twice, Hedron once, a more than 90% drop.
no, it has
And
nothing to do
Pulse
with the
Doge
drop.
in his
That has
history
nothing
had
to.
three
What I'm
times
talking about,
70%.
what I'm talking about has
So
nothing to do with the drop. I don't mind drop. When you
no,
buy
but
something that
about
has
risk,
product
you know,
market,
you're talking about risk. You're thinking like
no, no,
if you invest money into Pulse Doge, you will lose your money when the meme is over. That's
that's
your
not what I
take on it.
said. That's not what I said. And by the way, I got my free Pulse Dogecoin too. That's not what I said. Listen to what I'm saying. Okay,
Yep.
I'm not attacking that. That's not what I said. What I'm saying, I'm defining what a meme coin is because you asked me what do I mean by meme coin. I'm telling you that it's very important. It has nothing to do with that. Hex could go down 99.99%. I'll be buying that. I'll be buying Hex on the Hex W. Okay, you want some alpha? That's some other alpha right there. It's 10x lower over there. So it's 99.999% that, and I buy that over there because it do what it does every day. It's about having something that's product market fit. Nobody in the history of the world is going to get tired of making more money. This is the reason why Hex is never just a hype. Hex is a forever thing. Hex doesn't need marketing extra, like to survive, so to speak. He doesn't need to be told, oh, this, that, so and so person is going to come in. No, it does what it does. You buy it, you stake it, you earn the yield. That's what I mean by that. Things that are associated with meme culture Let's just say it like that, because I don't want to just target one coin. Meme culture, they always have a phase. It's same thing with NFT. If you're in the phase and you're riding the wave, good for you. But when the phase is over and somebody else were to buy that, then they get left holding the bag. That's just what it is. Something like Hex never dies. The phase can never end. Even 15 years from now, I'm confident we'll still be talking about it just as exciting as it is today, because you will still get the yield. You'll still get paid every day. We'll still talk about t-shirts, and we'll still talk about all the great things that delayed gratification brings. That's what this is about. It has nothing to do with the dips. Hex could dip over, I'll still be buying it because I'm turning into a productive asset. That's what I'm trying to talk about. People can do whatever they want. They want to go buy Pulse D, that's fine. Token economics is great. If you know what you're doing, just like pump and dumps. If you know what you're doing, you got it at the right time, it runs, you run your play. Run your play, make your money. I'm not getting in front of anybody's making their money. I'm just saying this is the difference between me. I like to invest into something that has long-term viability. That's not just a potential meme. Now, if you tell me Pulse goes is creating new stuff that's going to add utility, adding value besides just becoming a meme, because I don't think that's a good thing just to be a meme. I think to me that's bad, because long-term, and I'm a long-term investor, I'm not a trader. Then we can start talking about that. But if it's only about, hey, we got scarcity. Hey, back in the day, there was this no, I'm not gonna call it shitcoin, but there was this coin called million token, whatever. The guy said, yeah, there's only 1 million coin, it's scarce, there's no inflation. I've heard many of those many times over. But they're not Hex, because they don't have that extra niche that's going to make people come again and again and again and hold the coin for a long term. Because without that, the coin don't have the long-term viability. And if I don't see the long-term viability, I personally don't feel comfortable recommending people. I like people to win, and then 2 years from now win, 5 years from now win again on the same coin.
So Karim, you are saying
I also like that they win, you know, and I mean our community won pretty good, you know, when we announced the Pulse Doge play, actually, yeah, because it was right before Hex went down by 70%.
So Karim, you are saying
From
Hex
like 10
is like
cents to
a
3.
nuclear reactor. If you understand T-shares, then you will also understand Hedron and where the potential is of the perpetual, for example. But I think Hex Lion here has a really good point as well when he says the dog is not going to die. I really, really like that. So I think there will always be a product market fit, so to say, for PLSD, and also in the future for PLSB for sure. But we are
And
coming
I
to
would
the
like to give I know we are coming to an end. Just want to give Karim like the reasoning why I choose in the beginning to get more than just the free claim into Pulse Dogecoin. The reason behind it was like, okay, thinking about future onboarding. And for a lot of people, our Hex ecosystem is overwhelming and complicated. And there I saw the opportunity of a really easy to explain coin. Coin has dog, coin goes up, coin has no inflation. You can stake coin by earn some yield, and we are done. I have that like in 10 seconds explained, you know.
I can do
And
10
when I
seconds
start
Hex
with
too.
Hex, and then I get to Hedron, and then I go to Perpetuals, and then I go there.
Yeah,
It's
but you
just like
don't have to. It
it's like
goes back
getting
to what I
more
was
and more
telling
and
you
more
earlier.
complicated.
You don't have to do all the extra stuff. The first thing I told you when we started the conversation, I said people need to keep it simple. That's not what I do. That's not the reason why I'm number
Yeah,
one
but
onboarder.
people
I
don't get
only talk
Hex. Like
Hex.
since the beginning, they don't get Hex.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm a good teacher. For whatever reason, they get it with me. So I don't know what else to tell you. I keep it simple. I know how to explain in simple terms because I truly believe that this coin is going to change their life genuinely, the same way it has changed mine. So some stuff, even if it's a little bit complicated or worth explaining, it's about how you explain it. Just like I say in school, you know, as a math tutor, the teacher is a little bit to blame too, because if the student, they're not all stupid. You know what I mean? Some just learn better with some other students, with some other
There are
teachers.
there are plenty of stupid teachers out there. I
That's
absolutely agree to that.
definitely. So because my teachers, my students, they learn it very easy. I mean, M to the kid doesn't even do crypto, and he's on the video, and I have the video. We hope we can play it. Like he's talking about delayed gratification, how he's going to do this for his kids, and this and that, and the third. And it's like even me, I'm impressed because usually, you know, when you meet celebrities, sometimes they'll just like, oh yeah, let me say something nice, but they don't really know the thing. You know what I mean? but to see how MK really knows Hex and talk about staking ladder and stuff.
Yeah, where you really see that he did some own research as well on the
I feel like a daddy that's proud of his kid. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is, hey, to each their own. I hope you make a lot of money with Pulse Doge. All I'm saying is, Hex to me is very easy to explain because I have mastered it so well that I can explain it. So then my teacher used to tell me back in the day, Kareem, if you don't understand, if you're not able to explain something in simple terms, you do not understand it yourself. And it is highly unethical for you to talk about something you do not fully understand. And those two things that my teacher told me way back when I was literally almost a kid in the middle school back in Africa, that stuck with me. So I always made sure I'm gonna do my research. And if sometimes people don't understand, or when I was a student, a teacher, instead of being mad at the student, I was like, man, how can I get better? How can I get better? How can I simplify? How can I make this so they can understand? How can I simplify without diluting the value so they can get it? And I keep working on myself, working on getting better explaining to the point where now I can explain like an elevator pitch. And then once I get them, obviously using Sticker app, which helps me out a lot, I can just show them the 1, 2, 3, because you're absolutely right. You got to explain the way that they don't get scared so they can do it themselves. So they don't have to call you and they can do it again and again and again. And I was able to do that. And that's what I said to people, anybody listening, do not give up, and then find a way to explain it in simple term. And if you got all this extra stuff and the hedron and the perpetual, like sometimes just take it to Hex. And then when the person is ready to eat more and take more, then you can go to hedron. And then when that's done, then you can go to the perpetual. Don't go all three all at once because you're going to overwhelm them and then they're going to get confused. And the beauty with the Hex is when they get the Hex and they stake the t-shirt, guess what? They already got the hedron. It's free. It's there. They only just need to go connect and then mint. My brother didn't even know. That's how because he's not even that good, but he didn't even know until like 9 months, a year later. And then I told him, hey, you got free money on this thing called hedron. Let me spend 30 minutes with you. Let me go show you.
You know that hedron started in March?
Oh, no, I'm just saying like good. I didn't know, but like long time after,
all good.
6 months after he was already like.
I know in the crypto market, time goes faster, Kareem. I know that. Yeah.
No, exactly. So it's like, and it was great because he was calling us, oh, Kareem, perfect timing, because one of my stake was about to end 2 days after. So the fact that perfect timing, I got to explain him that I said, wow, now I can mint this free money before I mint my Hex. He was so grateful, so happy. And then he said, yo, make sure you tell the developers, thank you for the free money. I was like,
but
yo.
I have a question to that. You said it was your brother, right?
Yeah, for that example, yeah.
Yeah. So why didn't you call him to tell him about the 10x claiming bonus?
No, because at the time, right, when I was trying to figure out what was going on, I wanted to make sure that everything works out. So, and then when I got to him and he finally responded, I can sit him down to show him, because he doesn't have his wallet with him, because it's like he lives somewhere else and he works somewhere else. So he didn't have it with him. But I'm not going to put the stake in jeopardy. You know what I mean? Because I knew no matter what you got, and then he's one of the guys that I onboarded in the early days too. So he had like 2 years worth of coins too. So, you know what I mean? So he didn't get 10x, but he got something. I think he got like around like 4 or 5x. So, it is what it is.
Okay.
All right, guys. So it's 3 o'clock. We are 2 hours in. I already said in the chat, people, if you have really important questions right now, please put them in the chat right now so we can ask Hex, Lion, and Kareem, and myself, of course, as well. But Kareem, before, it was I guess 1 hour ago, you were talking about some alpha, and I want to ask you, do you have some more alpha for us, for our viewers here, so we can bring them up to date?
Well, I mean, the number one alpha, if people have been watching my stream with Wells, the last 2 streams we did, which were very powerful, is it's what's going on with the Hex W again, and the ETH W too, because I wanted to kind of combat the FUD.
Do you think they get parity? Like, just quick question.
Very important. I'm not talking about the ETH. I think Hex W can reach parity, and here's why. Number one, which is what I explained to people when I was with Wells, is I've done a lot of extensive research. Grayscale is going to claim their ETHW. That is a big deal. They did it on a Saturday. Why would Grayscale go out of their way on their busy Saturday to file to the SEC, do all this paperwork.
Because
to
they also
claim-
like free money.
Exactly, but they didn't claim the XF. That's what I'm trying to say. So again, when I talk to people all the time,
Okay.
look at the incentive and then also ask yourself, how can I counter my own argument? What can go wrong? And I'm like, well, they picked this, but they didn't pick that. That makes automatically this thing here more valuable. And yes, they wanted their free money. And they also knew the moment they do that, their investors are going to be like, hey, you claiming this? I want my free money too. So make sure you give it to me, blah, blah, blah. They're like 3 million plus coin. So that was number one. Number two, very powerful, was they got listed on FTX. People don't understand. FTX is one of the biggest exchange in the world. FTX today do almost similar volume as Coinbase. So being listed on FTX, it's like being listed on Coinbase. The top 3 exchange in the world is Binance. They do like, I was checking yesterday, like 13 billion volume. Then is Coinbase 1.7, and then billion, and then FTX at 1.6, almost 1.7, almost exactly. So people can look it up online. It's all there to see. So that was a big deal, a big catalyst. And then I was like, this chain is here to stay. And then even if you go to the technical, that if W is actually the if that we know for the last 6 years. It's the same one because it's the one that's proof of work that we've known for the last 6 years. The new if is the proof of stake one, because that's the one that just got spin as of like, almost 2 weeks ago. So that also remind me when I added the network and I realized how easy it is, that it's literally the same thing and it works flawlessly with no issue. The only difference is one runs on proof of stake, one runs on proof of work, which brings me to alpha number 4, which is I already know that people are going to be people. Whether we like it or not, certain tribes are set for life. Some people are going to be forever proof of work. Some people are going to be forever proof of stake, whether you like it or not. This is the reason why Bitcoin is not going away. Bitcoin is not going to go to proof of stake anytime soon. So once you understand that, it's good to know that, hey, as the HEX, we're perfectly located because HEX is superior code, and the superior code works on those both chains. You want proof of stake? Boom, here's the HEX you want to buy. You want proof of work? Boom, here's the HEX you want to buy. No matter what, we're winning. No matter what staker class you get your copy, you are winning. But now, because the miners, which by the way got their copy for free, people are stupid. They're acting like, oh, what about the miner? The price is too low. They're not going to be able to pay for the mining. I'm like, no, you're stupid. They got it for free. They're going to use the proof of stake money, which they still have, the $1,000 Ethereum with all the coin, because they were the first one to get the coin, make no mistake about it, and they were dumping on your head. They're going to use that to make money to then pay for the warehouse that they already have with all the machines, and they're just going to ETH W for free. And then this is why the price started to pump. I was lucky. I got the bottom, bought it like $4.12, and then now it's like at $12 right now. So the free alpha was like a 3x, because I also did another important math.
What? No, it was never down to $4.
It was down to what? Pull up FTX right now. If you want, I can pull up my FTX chart right now.
Okay, on FTX maybe. I'm like looking at DEX screener.
No. You want to look at FTX. DEX screener is irrelevant.
Or
because FTX
no,
has real
I'm
volume.
looking at it on how is it called, on TradingView, on the Kraken chart. Yeah, on the Kraken chart. On the Kraken chart, it went to 450 in the
Yes,
third
on
day.
ETH on FTX, which is what I use. I can literally share screen right now and show you, because that's what I use. I mean, if you're in the United States, you use FTX or you use Kraken. So this is where some people got a little bit lucky, because if you're not in the United States, you can't have those two exchange. You have to wait for OKEX and the other one.
You can have Kraken as a European. That's no problem.
Oh, you can. Oh, nice, perfect. So on here on FTX, it went as low as $4.20. So, but anyway, I digress. So that was already the catalyst, and it was trading for a while. And then I did another important math. I looked at the ratio between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, because again, I asked myself, when was the last time I see something similar happen? Bitcoin Cash. And when he started, and they were like 1/3 of each other, and then he completely died. But I looked at what was the ratio. The ratio was Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. Well, Bitcoin Cash was down 99.6%, because Bitcoin was about 20K, and then Bitcoin Cash was about $120. So the ratio I calculated was 99.6. Then I applied the same ratio, and then if Ethereum is $1,300 plus, and I applied the ratio, I did it live on stream with Wells, even with a 99.6% ratio, which is extreme because it's the same Ethereum, it's just a different consensus network. But let's pretend you get a $7.91 ETH. So I was like, oh my God, that thing is undervalued. So I started buying a lot, and then some people buying that too. And then, long story short, fast forward today, it pumped, and then he did a 3x. But more importantly, why does that matter? Because I think the next narrative is, as ETH continue to stay alive and thrive, because more big exchange are listing it in FTX and whatever, and it's working flawlessly. It has all the implementation that regular Ethereum, the other one, has. It has the triple halving with the 90% issuance cutoff. He has that too. EIP 159, he has that. All the copies, it's literally the same. Imagine somebody says, oh, it's worth 1% of real Ethereum, or 2%, or 5%. All of a sudden, ETH can start go up in price. Ethereum Classic is worth $28. I argue ETH is more valuable than Ethereum Classic because it's the better chain, it's the better history, because ETH Classic barely have anything going on. So the power of a system state copy is very powerful. This is why this has never been done before. This is the reason why Pulsechain is going to be such a game changer, because it's copying all the good stuff and it's adding the new cool stuff. So once you understand that,
I mean, I hear you,
so now,
and I agree to most
this
of
is
you
where
are
the
saying,
parity comes in.
it's still, yeah, okay. It
Yeah, the
still
parity
doesn't
comes
explain
in
anything
because,
why HEX should go up.
yeah, the parity comes in because people already started to buy. It went up 8,000% the first day. Let's not forget that the last time HEX did the 8,000% the first time, it took us a year and a half to get there. So we did it in a day. Right now, it's just digesting the move. It's just going kind of sideways.
Yeah, but with how much liquidity? There was more liquidity on ByteDesk in the first day of HEX.
Yeah, but remember, this is good right now because it's a system state. A lot of people sold HEX. I keep telling you, HEX, there's not that much liquid HEX as you think there is. So at any time, it
There
could
will
easily
always
come.
be.
Do you understand
Of
that? We
course,
just, like right now,
you just need like new end stakes. You just need
I
new end
I
stakes,
give
and
you a
then you
simple
have
math.
new
I did the
HEX.
math for fun. With about $100,000 right now, somebody can pump the HEX, the ETH and bring it to parity. It's not that hard to do. It's just,
No, you cannot. No, with $100,000
maybe it
bucks, you
will be
cannot
on the
bring it to
wick. Maybe it'll
parity.
be on the wick and then come back down. But I am telling you, it doesn't need that much money to get there. A lot of HEX have already been sold before the copy. A lot of HEX have been already staked before the copy. So the liquid HEX available.
Yeah, but still, you know that if I double the amount in the liquidity pool, I 4x the price, and in the liquidity pool right now it shows me $210,000.
On what?
And 50-50, like 8,316 ETH and 72 million HEX.
Are you looking at, okay, hold on. You're probably looking at the wrong pair because you got to look at the pair that says HEX to ETH. The liquidity is $68,000. It's not 200. I don't know what you're talking about. Because
Okay.
I'm looking from Dex Screener. I'm looking for Dex Screener, which is the Uniswap pair. That's the one that I look at. And it says $68,000 HEX to ETH. And then if I look at the HEX to Hedron, it's 86,000. So I don't know where you get your 200,000 from. So that's first. But again, ultimately, like I was
You
saying,
mean WEs? No, it's like with wrapped E's, or is that like really
no,
ETHW?
I mean, I'm literally going based on the metric. I'm looking at it right now. It says liquidity $68,000. So let's say I round it up to 70K. You double it. That's 140. That's not 200. So I'm just doing the math. You know what I mean? So it's not what you said. But anyway,
You're on version 2. Okay, your version 2. Version 3 has the like the forked V3 has the 210,000.
yeah.
I
So,
guess
but
that's like
ultimately, what I'm saying,
Kyber swap versus Uniswap.
yeah, Uniswap
Volatility.
is better because Uniswap actually price feed the price of ETH directly from FTX, which has severe millions of dollar volume. That's the one that I
Yeah,
trust.
and so why is there no good user front end
No, there
when it
is.
comes to Uniswap?
There you
Yeah,
is.
only what Alex built.
But yeah, but that's all we need as Hexican. Imagine, why would you want to go connect to a new site that you don't know about and then add permission? That's crazy to me. I go to Hedron.pro, then I click the third tab. It says Uniswap, and it's right there. Uniswap.hedron.pro. It's like saying, Kareem, why do you use ethhex.com? Why do you go to the regular Uniswap? No, I use the custom.
Yeah, but you know, but still lots of people on this new chain, they are using Kyber swap in order
and
to
that's
swap,
fine.
or they are
I'm just,
using power swap in order to provide liquidity.
but if you want to play it safe, and if you never used Kyber swap before and you don't want to go connect your wallet to the random place, and I'm not saying Kyber is bad, I'm just saying if you already gave permission to Hedron or Apda you literally don't have to give new permission. You literally just swap network and you're there. That is my point. People used to use Uniswap. They want to keep using Uniswap. They don't want to go somewhere else that they don't know. You know what I mean? It's easy. It's a beautiful front end. It works just fine. And by the way, another reason why the Kyber wasn't so good is because in the beginning, I don't even know if they fix it, but some of the digits were wrong. It was showing the price wrong. People thought Hex was like 100 times more price than what
But
it is.
back to your words right now. You said like people want to use it. So then tell me, why aren't you charging the V3 chart? Why are you also charging V2? And the
No, but
V2
V2 because
liquidity
it's
is on
symmetrical
Kyber swap.
liquidity. It's the one that we use the most. V2 is always has been the one we use the most. What are you talking about? V2 has always been, even if hex.com right now is still on a regular network, it still points to V2. It doesn't point V3. It's always been V2 because they use the symmetrical liquidity. V2 is the one that we can use right now with no headache. V3 still has a license problem. V3 at any time they can flip the switch. Richard talked about it. So we're just using what we know is the most secure. That's all. There's a reason why Alex used the V2 contract when he posted on the Uniswap link that's on Hedron.pro. I'm just using the most safe things that know that works, that's not going to come back and cause us problem. That's it. You know what I mean? And ultimately, as I finished, I expect ETH to continue to go up over time. If you look at the chart, it looks nice. It's been doing bull flags on both flags and going sideways consolidation. I wouldn't be surprised if a month or two from now, it makes a nice run to $30. Why not? Because Ethereum Classic is
I
there.
agree to that. I agree to
So
that.
if we
Yeah, I
continue to
agree to
go
that.
up, now we go back to bonding math for the liquidity, the Hart's law, whatever. As long as we maintain a good hex to ETH ratio pair, and if ETH continue to go up, it's naturally going to bring the hex price up. Sooner or later, people who don't believe in hex W are going to be done selling, and they're not going to be there. Yeah.
But Kareem, like back to the liquidity, it
Yeah.
actually doesn't it is not important if like where you as a user swap it, but it is still important that this liquidity is also there in
Yes.
the
But
V3
the
pool.
liquidity is there. $70,000 when something is like
Yeah, and in the
less than a
V3
fraction of
there is another 210.
Yeah, so my point is, well, okay, I'm sorry, I'm confused. What are you arguing? Are you arguing that
Yeah.
there's not enough liquidity or that there is enough liquidity? I'm confused.
Now that there is more liquidity, you are more arguing so that the liquidity is so low that it can easily like a 10x. You
No,
are
no, that's
arguing
not what I
that with a
said. That's
$100,000 I can 10x the price, and it's not the case because there
it,
is more than the 70,000 liquidity. Because in V3 there is 100,000 each side spot.
I understand, Patrick. I said in that quick analogy, I said it could easily wick there and then maybe go back down. The point was with a little bit of money, even $1 million, a little bit of money can get to parity. That was the point. Please do not miss the point. And number two, the liquidity is good enough that if if W continue to go up in price, it will gradually, naturally bring the hex price up. And if the liquidity is good enough and the price gets naturally dragged up because if W becomes more and more valuable, that's how we get to parity naturally over time. You are asking me, how do we get to parity? I'm telling you how it gets there. There's a reason why Hex W is the closest one to parity and the other ones are nowhere near close. Why is that?
Yeah,
Because
because
W is
my
doing
take,
what?
so my opinion on that is yes, it is here to stay. No, it won't reach parity. Why? Because between 1 and at most 10% of the value of hex on the East chain, at the top side, if it's 10% of the value from hex on the East side, then people will arbitrage it out and will just take the free money there.
But there's arbitrage right now. What are you talking about? I can move money from regular Hex to ETH for less than $2. What are you talking about? I can arbitrage right now if I want to. Right now. for almost free.
What I meant is that arbitraging was the wrong expression here. It's like just taking the free money. My thing is it will never reach parity because there will always be Hexicans who sell the 10% free
And
money.
that's fine because there's other Hexicans who are willing to buy that. It's called the market. It's simple. It's actually good that they sell right now because they're selling.
We won't
for 10 times
send
less.
like new people there, so it's only existing people. It is a
And that is fine.
little bubble.
I understand. That is fine. I am just telling you,
Yeah, but
when a bridge comes
no,
in,
because where should the money come from in order to reach parity? You know, if
No.
if we don't encourage people to go there with new money, and you know, if
here's
just
the
the
thing.
Hexicans
Here's
got
the
like
thing that
their
you're
whole
missing.
portfolio on this chain
Here's
as well,
here's
they
the
can
thing
just
that you're missing.
extract value there.
There is an X factor that you're missing. And again,
Which,
I'm not saying it's gonna make a move, but right now we haven't have a solid bridge yet. Right now, the OA hasn't made a move yet. All it needs to happen is once we get a solid bridge, the same way on Pulsechain, the moment that connectivity is made, it will just connect all the price. I remember the first time when we went from Uniswap V1 to Uniswap V2, and then Arbitrage bought try to play game and trying to push the price down. Thank God we got it to parity quick because we understood that that becomes an attack vector if we don't do it. So all I'm saying is, just like on Pulsechain,
but there was no parity reaching. That was just like another pool added. I don't know like what
no. If
you're.
you
No,
remember,
that's like a bad example.
if you remember, because I remember when we first got from V1 to V2, there was a massive wick because somebody trying to arbitrage it right away. And then before we got to add the liquidity, and then we did, and then the thing turned out to be good. But in the beginning, because that's what arbitrage does. It's the same reason why you have a Bitcoin price or Ethereum price, multiple exchanges around the world, and they may not be exactly dollar exact, but they have similar price. Because if not, it will be fucking arbitrage. This is actually how Sam Bankman-Fried became rich. If people remember the story, because I was there. This guy's not just a genius or whatever. He was just smart enough to capture arbitrage. He remembered when Bitcoin was 15,000 in the kimchi premium in Asia, and it was 10,000 in the United States, and he was flying people every week, 3 times a week with $10 million suitcase just to do the arbitrage. So I am telling you, parity will eventually come, because if it does not, people will just keep arbitraging this to death until it gets there. Because there's 2 ways we get to arbitrage: either one stay at 3 cents and the other
I
one
disagree, because like in your example, it's the same ecosystem. In this example, it is this ecosystem which got forked. So it's a completely new ecosystem.
It is a completely different
it's
ecosystem,
not like,
but the math for arbitrage has nothing to do with that. The math for arbitrage is what is the cost of bridging. This is the reason why we can't. I'll give you another example. We can't compare it to like the HEX on Matic, for example, for 2 reasons. The HEX on Matic, first of all, is not real HEX, because you couldn't stake it over there. And number 2, the cost of bridging was insane. It was like $20 or $40. It was so people just had to be kind of like trading in the sandbox over there.
Yeah. But the reason for that were the Ethereum blockchain fees, because the bridging one of the transactions was a Ethereum transaction. That's why it was
Yes,
so
thank you for
expensive.
making my
It
point.
has
My
nothing
point
to
is
do
the
with.
cost was prohibiting. This is the reason why the arbitrage didn't work as well, and also because it wasn't the same HEX, because you couldn't stake it over there. That was the main issue. And for those who don't remember, that HEX over there started to pump like crazy. He actually surpassed the HEX price on the regular Ethereum, but because he went up so high, the moment the bridge was connected, even though the bridge was very expensive, the price got sold down like crazy because people could transfer from one network to the other network. That is what arbitrage is. And I am telling you, because maybe you don't know, so I got to tell you, the cost of bridging right now from one to the other is less than $2. The fees are extremely low. It costs you 80 cents to make a swap. It costs you 30 cents to make a send. You send to the exchange. You buy the ETH directly there. You can send it to your same wallet with the added network for free. The fee is 0, and you can swap over there for free because the fees are like 0.0000 whatever. So once you understand,
I know, I was playing around there. Yeah, it's not that I'm not informed.
Bridging is very negligible. I'm just bringing math saying that it's only a matter of time that the arbitrage is going to kick in. Well, ideally, it would be nice if people like Godwill or Owe, once a bridge is solid, because right now the exchange is the bridge. That's what I want people to understand. The exchange, because any bridge
I know,
right
yeah.
now, it's not safe.
Yeah.
If somebody tell me, hey, Kareem, you recommend any bridge over there? I say it's not safe. But as long as whoever figure out a bridge that's safe, which is the same $1 million question we need to ask, or $1 billion question we need to figure out on Pulsechain, a safe bridge, then it's game over. Then we can have hex on any chain we want and slide over there, and then black hole absorbing value everywhere. And I think that is amazing, having hex on multiple chains. Richard even joked about having hex on Cardano once, I remember, so that we can suck the economic value because it's superior code. So if you have that superior code in multiple places, I think that's great.
I definitely get what Kareem is saying here. We have an awesome opportunity on this new fork. Hex is a DeFi product that just works on all the chains. Patrick here has a different opinion on that, right? He's saying, well, once we onboarders are not telling the new people to go to ETHW because this is some good thing, then where should the new money come from? But obviously we do not know the market. We do not know what market participants we have on ETHW. Maybe we have some people making some money over there, and then they find the first certificate of deposit on ETHW to stake your money, to make even more, to make yield on your shitcoins that you had not been doing before, right? So there are definitely big arguments pro and contra, but we just seen a question here from the chat, and this is also going into a different direction. A lot of Hexicans are for the ETHW chain, a lot of Hexicans are against it, and it has to do with the question that we just had here on the screen. Like, is there a possibility of ETHW rug pulling in the future? What do you think, Kareem?
That is a great question. This is the reason why, Abid, when I started this whole conversation, when I started even with Well, the first thing that I discussed was, why am I even bothering going over there? It's because Grayscale is claiming it. That's a big vote of confidence, and because FTX listed it.
I bought it because all those influencers were like starting to shill it. That's why
No, I don't care about that.
with
I don't care about that. To me, none of that matters. Because guess what? Some of those influencers, like you're talking about, they're shilling the Ethereum F also. Did you hear me talk about that? No. Did you hear Wells talk about that? No. Because we're not in a rush. We got a copy over there, but we don't even know if that thing is going to still exist. If it is, great, but we don't know. Because I take that question that Patrick just talked about very seriously myself. Because I had to ask myself, if I'm going to potentially add economic value over there, because I love Hex everywhere, I need to ask that to myself too. What if this thing goes away? So when I saw what I saw and the claiming, and especially they claim ETHW and they didn't claim the other forks, that already told me, what do I say all the time? Don't believe what they say, watch what they do. They did it on Saturday. They did it like a hush hush. And even in the article, they're talking about, we don't know if this thing's going to be worth it at all. They kind of lowball the thing and they let it crash. And the next thing you know, they start buying a lot of it at $4. Next thing you know, it's at 12. So you got to understand the game that's being played. People that are going to buy something, they're not going to tell you. You got to look at the incentives. Grayscale is no joke. To be asset under management on Grayscale is a big deal. And coins who get under management for Grayscale, on average, they stay there for years. Years. Bitcoin Cash is still there. Ethereum Classic is still there. So when you get under management over there, you're going to stay there for a long time. Being listed on FTX is the big deal. That probably cost them a lot of money. Those miners got money. So you got to ask yourself, who got the backing? And because of all of that, that's the only reason why I entertain buying some Hex on that thing over there. Because I make sure that the underlying platform, the consensus mechanism, is going to be here to stay. And let me throw one more thing nobody's talking about. What if in the future they figure out how to do renewable energy mining? Now what? Because ask yourself, 48% of the mining of Ethereum is in the United States. Why do you think the first two big exchanges that listed ETHW, where are they? They're in the United States. Kraken is in the US. FTX is in the US. What does that tell you? What if they're working on renewable? Now what? They're going to say, hey, we got proof of work and we got renewable energy mining. So you can't be so quick to discount something when you look at the facts. It's getting a lot of adoption and backing that otherwise wouldn't be there, especially in this short period of time. Now, do I know it's an end-all be-all? No. But am I going to sit here and play the imaginary horribles and this and that? No, I don't have time for that. I look at the facts that's in front of me. If they say they're gonna delist, or if they were not listing on claiming by grayscale, I wouldn't even waste my time. I'll be like, all right, my copy is there. I don't need to connect. I'll wait. If it stays here 5 years, 10 years from now, then I'll go mint my coin. So this is very, very important. I want everybody to understand that. That was the first thing I asked myself before I even start talking about it. So yeah.
Yeah, my standpoint like stays the same. I don't see like any substantial value in the ETH proof of work, and if it gets back to 10% of the value of the hex on the Ethereum chain, I'm happy to sell more hex.
Of
That's
course.
fine. And we're happy to eventually buy you out, and then we'll move on. Because that's what I understand. Hex is real DeFi. You can only sell the coin you have until you have no more coin, and then you're no longer relevant. And then we move
Yeah,
on.
but I have still my T-shares there, so I
Good,
won't
good. We'll
be
see you in
ever
years.
out of hex there.
We'll create more t-shirts. But
I
see,
have
that's the thing. It's like Hedron. It's the same argument you were telling me. Oh, Kareem, you got too many Hedron. If you sell that, it's like selling pressure. No, there's people who are gladly willing to buy the Hedron. Gunther dumped a lot of Hedron, yet the price pumped afterwards, right? So that doesn't matter. Everybody think they're a big fish until a bigger fish comes and eats you out. It's as simple as that. And another use case nobody's talking about.
Yeah,
And
but a
shout out
big
to
fish
Adam.
wants to have big liquidity as well, and a big fish don't wants to have a small liquidity
Good.
and just like doubles prices for everybody. It's not
Why
like
not? Why not? They double their price too.
it's not like Godwale in 2020. No,
No,
I disagree that
listen,
you said like,
listen.
or it's not like Godwale
It
in
doesn't
2020.
mean anything. It's just math. People
Jesus
act like it's
Christ.
too much money. Even if you big parity right now, what does that mean? That means it's a 6 cents hex because you double. What's the big deal? We've been at 6 cents not too long ago. That's nothing. We've been at 30 cents. You can double, triple the hex. It's like you double the hex, 3 cents becomes 6 cents hex. You triple 3 hex, it's like 9 cents hex. So it's like we've been much higher than that. That's nothing. People complain about the wrong thing. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to where we're going. That is nothing. And one more important point, and a big shout out to you. We talk about onboarding new people. There is new people on ETHW that none of us would I be able to talk to. None of us would I be able to reach. And now they heard about Hex because they sit it on the leaderboard. There's Chinese communities out there, whoever miners community who are learning about Hex. That is free visibility that nobody would I be able to talk to them. And now they're becoming Hexican too. So let's not forget that.
Yeah, but interestingly, we don't see really a price move of hex, right? So I mean,
It went up
you know, if I
9,000% in one day. Okay, let it time to
no,
digest. There is no rush.
there,
You're in a rush because
you
you're trying
mean,
to
okay.
sell. You're in a rush because you're trying to sell. You want
And
to pump so
with
you
how
can
much
dump.
liquidity did it went up so much on a day? And how much more should it went up? It's like the same argument like
That's
Mehdi had
fine.
like last week in the chat, you know. It's like it went up
You're
to
missing the point.
X, yeah. And
There's
then like
some
do you want
people.
to buy the 150X, right?
Listen to this. There
And
is some people who still want to accumulate. They don't want parity to happen right away. There's people who are gladly happy to buy more hex at this lower price. They don't need the parity to come quick just so that you can exit on their head. They gladly to buy slowly over time, build a portfolio because we're not trying to turn hex into a pump and dump. That's not the goal here. The goal is to get, we don't have an AMM bot. So the people are the bot and they're doing pretty well. If you ask me, in 10 days, 9,000%, that's not too bad. It can fucking go sideways for the next 90 days until 2023. I don't care. People are still going to accumulate slowly but surely because Hex is Hex. It's superior code and it will always be good. And those who are building the bag over there, they're going to be good. Same thing on the Pulse chain. This is something I've said way back before. When the Pulse chain come and if parity doesn't happen for whatever long, every time I get new money, I will be buying the cheaper Hex and add to my position. I've said that for years, way before, because it's the same methodology that I will use because Hex is Hex and I add to my position and I'm buying more t-shirts and I'm creating more money printer. That's it. End of story. I don't know why people are mad.
but you know
It's
that
something
like
they're back too.
in the fourth 4 hour candle, so like 16 hours after the fork, and it got like
Yes.
mispriced because of the fork. That's where the prices started, literally like near zero. Only 16 hours later, yeah.
Yeah.
So like where there was no liquidity, so like not, it's not like that their move you needed like millions of new dollars to move into to get this price of on this level. So
I
only
understand.
like 16 hours later, it was already at a price which is only 10x higher today than
Exactly. But
and
what you
not
don't
like those
understand is
8,000%, you know.
people
It's
didn't
just
need
like
millions of
marketing, you know,
dollars.
this saying like, yeah, it made 8,000% in 1 week. Oh,
Because
great.
it
Yeah?
did.
But
Because it
if you
did.
really
Because it did.
look at it,
Because it
didn't.
did. Right now, if you were to sell it, it will be the value of 8,000. It's going to be the
No,
same
because
thing
you
at
couldn't get in the first 16 hours because there was no value.
That's not true. You are
There was
automatically
not
in because you got
liquidity.
a free copy. Your copy that you have has rose up in value from 0 to 8,000%. You cannot argue math. Math is math. You may not like it, but it's math. The free copy that you got went from 0 value to 8,000 because there's a path to valuation by swapping that for ETH and then swapping that to dollar. That is just math. I'm not going to argue math with you. Math is math. It went up what it went up. And the price was low enough that you could buy millions of coin for cheap because it was a lot of zeros lower. That's why you didn't need a lot of money because the price was very,
And
very
I
low.
disagree on buying like the millions of coins, because especially in the first 16 hours where like 7,000 of this 8,000% were made, there was no liquidity.
What are
This
you
was like a
talking about?
few million hex.
What do you
That's
keep
it.
talking about
And
the
then the
16
price dropped
hours?
there.
I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about right now. The price is about the same that what it was when he did after the first 24 hours. It's going sideways. I've been telling you, it's digesting the move. So look at all the volume that's been happening right now. Okay, Abby, maybe hold on. Let me share my screen because maybe you need to see this because it's like
No,
I'm talking
you can
Chinese.
share my screen. I mean, I
Okay, or share
have
your
it
screen
here.
too. That's fine. Show up their screener. The point of the matter is the price level is at the same price that it was since he got to that 9,000% gain. And then a lot of volume happening. I know people already who bought millions of hex. What are you talking about? So it's digesting the move. The same way OA put billions of fucking Hedron waiting for people to eat the wall before the thing went on a run. It's the same thing. Because we don't want stuff to be pump and dump. We want people to accumulate to get a certain price. And then when they eat the wall, then it goes to the next phase. It's simple as that. Because if we go all the way to the expensive price, nobody really got to accumulate nothing. And then all they have is just people dumping on their head. No. I think the price is great where it is now. Nobody's saying that, oh, we need parity tomorrow. No. We're all about delayed gratification. Time in the market. Okay? I bought my hex. I'm gonna continue to accumulate a little bit there because I see the value, and I'm gonna stake it, and I'm gonna earn the yield. That's it. I'm gonna add to my staking ladder. That's it. I'm willing to take the risk because I've done the math. I've done the study. I look at the macro. I look at grayscale as a big deal, and I look at FTX as a big deal. And this is my choice. I decide to take risk. Now, if the reward come and maybe I can become a whale, then on that chain, then great. If the reward doesn't come, then it doesn't come. Everything has a risk. But I'm not gonna sit here and be paranoid and talk about imaginary horribles. And then no, you don't know. You don't know what other money that can come. You don't know when the bridge can actually happen, when you can start bridging all the network. Because guess what? Pulsechain is going to be the same thing. Pulsechain is just going to be an RPC chain. You're going to be able to go Ethereum proof of work, Ethereum, if Ethereum proof of stake, Ethereum proof of work, and Pulsechain. You're going to be able to have all three. And what if somebody created a healthy bridge between all three? Next thing you know, Hex can have parity on all three chains. It's possible. It is fucking possible.
Why should Richard support the proof of work?
Because he's supporting Hex. You're missing the point. Nobody cares about ETHW. Nobody cares. I don't care about ETHW. I care about Hex there. I only talk about ETHW because I wanted to explain and address the question that was asked. How do we know for sure that the chain is not going to get rugged so that our Hex don't disappear? Because Hex is superior code. It is bragging right for Richard as well as the whole entire community. All we need to make sure is that the consensus network still exists, because that's all Hex need. The same way we were the first to say, hey, nobody comes on Pulsechain, we don't give a fuck. We're going to be there. We Hexicans, we're going to give it value. We're going to make it popular. The same way we made Uniswap popular when nobody cared. We were there because we don't care. We want Hex. Hex works. T-share works. Staking works. Alex put the link already. It works. We have viable connectivity without getting hacked. People can use their same exact wallet It doesn't get any easier than that. The if F, you gotta install this new thing and do this other gymnastic. I don't really like that. If W, I just click a button. I go back and forth. Easy. I'm in the exchange. I send money. It's the same wallet. I don't have to do no gymnastic.
In my point of view, you can make way more gains with other stuff than with Hex on the proof of work chain, because right now it's like at 0.15 cents, which is about 4%
15%
of
of a
the
penny.
value of
Yeah.
15%
that's a
of a
lot.
penny, exactly, which is about 4% of the value of the Ethereum chain. And I have still a really strong belief that it
And
won't
that's
exceed
fine.
the
That's
10%
fine.
of the
Time will
value.
tell. Time will tell. My point is this. I never said that parity will happen overnight because you make it look like you want it to happen today. And if it doesn't happen today, it's bad. No, you want it to go up so you can sell.
No.
That's fine. But I'm saying over time, as people realize again and again and again that it's not going away, that it start to go up in price, eventually it's going to rise. The same thing happened to Hex. The same reason why when I was buying $89 Ethereum back in the day, I was buying the Hex right away because I was already new. And I told my friend, guys, it's math. I don't need to buy Ethereum because if Ethereum goes up, Hex goes up as long as the ratio is there. And if Hex goes up against Ethereum, while Ethereum goes up in price in USD, we get the force multiplier because it moves as a function of a square. So that was the reason why I'm seeing the same
Yeah,
characteristics.
but it doesn't make too much sense because now you're saying like, okay, it doesn't matter like which of the two I buy, like they go up both. But then
Let
when
me
you
say it
look
again
at
slowly
the
because you missed
Hex
it. Let me say it
ETH
again
chart,
slowly because you missed it. I said this.
okay.
If because it's ratio. If you buy something and the something goes up 30%, I'm gonna give you an example. You buy something, goes up 30%, and then something else that's related to that something goes up 30% against that something, that becomes 90% because it's a force multiplier. Because something went up 30% and something else went up 30% against the something that went up 30% first. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So if the ratio stays stagnant where it is now, Hex to ETH W, okay, I clearly say if the ratio Hex to ETH W, because that's all I care about. I don't care about the USD. If the ratio Hex to ETH W stays steady where it is now, and if W goes up in price over time, it's like a rising tide, rise all boats. It's going to lift the price of Hex W automatically. Do you understand that?
Karim, I have a really interesting question here. Firefighter is saying, so you don't think people will abandon the chain after Pulsechain launches? So what is your argument for why people will not leave Ethereum proof of work in the future, even after Pulsechain launches?
That is a great question because number one, they're economically incentivized to keep it. It's like saying again, and again, this is what I'm glad we're talking about this because this is the clash we used to have a little bit a year ago when we had Pulse and Pulsechain, and you guys were saying, I'm going to sell my EX and then go to Pulsechain. And I always sit in the middle with my people saying, we don't have to choose. We can just collect both sides. This is the beauty of the person. Stop acting like you have to sell. It's your copy. You get copy everywhere. Pulsechain can find parity with Ethereum proof of stake, and you can still keep your ETH W. That's fine. It's just an additional money printer. You do not have to sell. That's what people need to understand. The need of you having to sell is not there. That is just somebody putting an inception in your head. You can just keep all three because you already did the winning move. This is what I want to end with to say. The winning move is because we're stake and we did everything right, we get a copy everywhere. So we never lose. It just really comes down to when you got new capital, where would you like to allocate such new capital? And I argue if I have 3x, because I'm not trying to sell none of them because I love them just equally because it's the same code, and over time I'm getting new money, I'm going to go personally, nobody needs to do this, I'm going to go personally buy the Hex that's the cheaper to get the things that I love, which is a t-shirt. So I can bump on that position. And if Pulse Hex becomes cheaper, I'm buying Pulse Hex. If Hex on P or proof of stake goes cheaper, I'm buying that. If it's Hex on ETH W, assuming it's still there, because obviously I believe it will, then I'm going to go buy that. It's as simple as that because Hex is Hex. Hex is Hex. You do not lose anything. Please listen to this. If there's an important message you take from today, Hex is Hex. You do not lose anything. Your coins are just there, just the same. We don't care about the platform so much. We do care about Pulsechain. Why? Because we sacrifice for that shit. So we definitely care. We care about Pulsechain because we sacrifice for that shit. Make no mistake about it. But all the other ones, we can care less. I never really care about Ethereum because I was swapping this for Hex back in the day. So I don't understand why people make this big argument about if W. No, it's just the vessel. Don't get confused. It's just the road. The car is Hex. It's the Hex car. We'll talk about the car.
I like what you're saying. Hex is Hex. Crypto Cashew here saying, I love all my Hex. Then I wrote down there, I love earning expensive Hex on all the chains, right? And then we have a nice comment here. And this is how I want to end the stream, basically. And now I just have to find it. Crypto Cashew is saying, I love all my money, 7 sources of income. Not all are pulling in 100K a month, but it's passive, just another way of looking at it. And then Socrates here also really interesting. In 10 years, all blockchains will have directly connectivity, right? We will live in a multi-world blockchain world for sure. There will be Ethereum, there will be Ethereum W, there will be Pulsechain, and probably Bitcoin will also not go away. So we will have a lot of things, a lot of blockchains going on in the future, and probably everything will be interconnected. I totally see that happening.
Absolutely.
But
And
guys,
another fun fact, the average millionaire back in the day, the traditional way, the average millionaire, real millionaire, steady, has about, they say they have about 7 sources of income. So the more you have, the better. The beauty is you don't have to pick. The beauty is you have multiple money printers that just create you multiple copies and more cool stuff. So I think it's a plus, even if one could be more valuable than another one. But the thing is, you're getting it for free and you get to multiply that. So I think that's great.
And then also, I think Richard Hart probably made the idea of full system stakes popular, right? Even though maybe now somebody else came up with it earlier, just because Pulsechain is a little bit more innovative, it takes a little bit more time. But I have the feeling we will see a lot of full system forks in the future as well. Maybe even from Pulsechain, right? Not from Ethereum, but actually forked Pulsechain. It's going to be so interesting.
I can't
Guys,
wait.
we had.
You mean like other people who are forking Pulsechain or what, and take everything which is on Pulsechain
That'd be
listed?
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's possible.
100%.
It's possible, right? Yeah, it should be
Yeah, it is
possible.
possible. But remember what I said. Number one, you got to make sure the chain is viable. It needs to be picked up by the backing. Why are we so popular and convinced that Pulsechain is going to be solid? Because we know we sacrifice for that. There's money behind it. Obviously, Richard, there's possibly, wink, wink, an exchange that's going to list us day one. Like, we have real product market fit viable for the chain. It's very important. And that's no offense for my Ethereum F lovers, but I just want them to understand. I'm harder a little bit on the ETH because I have logical reason that makes sense why I believe out of the copies so far, that's the one that's gonna last, because he has those other things. You know what I mean? I'm not coming here just to argue with Patrick for fun. That's my friend. No, I'm just saying these things because I've seen things that even me, I was shocked. Because if I'm gonna sit here honestly, and 10 days ago you told me, hey, we're gonna get another copy of Ethereum before Pulsechain, I wouldn't believe it, because it's like nobody expected this. You know what I mean? And then after he pops up out of nowhere, then you gotta ask yourself, okay, is this a fluke? Is this something that the miner are fighting and it's gonna disappear next week? And then you start seeing this grayscale, this adoption, and now I'm like, okay, this thing is here to stay. So I want to make sure people understand that. Don't just fall for a random copy. Understand that it has to be viable too. You know what I mean? If not, if the chains gets rocked for whatever reason, then you're not going to be happy. So it's a very, very important point. Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Thanks for that. Well, I always have to mute me because I have some audio issues here. But I have a really interesting thing from Firefighter82. He's saying, I'm dollar cost averaging in Hex on the Ethereum chain proof of stake. He's meaning here 4 copies and other fresh capital being saved for Pulsechain and PulseX. He's totally right. When you bring fresh capital in an Ethereum proof of work, then this will not get a copy. But I think even Richard is agreeing and saying this: the price appreciation of a new coin outweighs the free copy. It outweighs the API, the 38% API that we are earning. So a really good point here for ETHW. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Because
and again,
it is new.
It's like your sibling brother, your twin brother, and then you're gonna your blood brother, and then you're gonna deny him. Like what? No, hex is hex. Please remember that hex is hex. Don't forget that. And you don't lose. You got to back there too.
And also what Socrates the Great is saying, I don't trust Vitalik. We will do what the world elite will tell him. And then when governments are coming to infiltrate Ethereum, then he has his backup on Ethereum W.
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah,
Ethereum
somebody could
W.
argue that's like a smug insurance. Like if proof of stake doesn't work out, and again, I knock on wood, I want it to work out. But somebody could argue, yeah, that's a good insurance. I think that's the reason why when I did the ratio, right now the schmuck insurance is like people are putting 0.5%, right? Because the ratio right now, okay, it's a little bit more nice, almost 1%. It's almost like if W gets to $13, which is it hit a couple times, and then Ethereum is at 1,300, right? It's roughly right there. It's that 1%. So it's like schmuck insurance saying 99% chance if proof of stake work, 1% chance it doesn't work. At least we got the proof of work that we can go back to. You know what I mean? With cheap fees and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, this is what I said. You meet somebody that's hardcore. Oh, I'm a proof of stake guy. Well, here's the hex for you. Oh, I'm a proof of work guy. Well, here's the hex for you. Like as somebody that onboard people, I got remedy for everybody. That's it. Because the new person that comes and buy, he's not going to care whether or not he has a copy, because he doesn't have a copy. He has to buy somewhere to start. And if he's like a diehard proof of work, I have a solution for him. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's great to have optionality so that we can satisfy whatever customer we get. Because hex is hex. They can still delay gratification, earn the APY, and live good. I think that's great.
Well, I think this is a really, really long stream here. Karim, thank you so much for all the alpha. Patrick and Karim, I think you guys had an amazing discussion. We had over 100.
Over
yeah, you know,
it's always fun.
I like discussing with Karim too, you know. I mean, in the end of the day, we are good friends, you know, and we are doing that for the audience out there, you know, because you know, you have like pretty strong opinions in one direction. I have also pretty strong opinions. Sometimes in a other direction, you know, we both listen to each other, finding like where could be like an error in the
exactly, and it's
in the
refreshing.
point
It's like
right now,
iron
you know.
sharpen iron.
So
You
yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
yeah.
And then the cool
I
thing
mean,
is,
David is nearly sleeping there already. You know, it's pretty late for him. That's why he's like coming on like the third time. Like, yeah, that's like a good thing to end the stream now.
and the cool thing, what I like is that it allows people to see where their risk tolerance is, because then we have solution for everybody. If you're very risk averse, hey, you got your free copy, just relax. If you want to take a little bit of risk, hey, this is an alpha for you. If you want to take crazy risk, hey, here's a bigger. So then you get to see where on the risk tolerance you're willing to sit, and then you see the arguments, you see the pros and cons, the value, and then I'm talking to you on the screen, make your own decision. Because at the end of the day, it's you pressing the button, nobody else. I said this all the time. It's not financial advice, it's only mathematical advice. But every mathematical advice still have a risk. You know, there's probability. It's not guarantee, it's not certainty, it's never 100%, but we're playing game of probability. But again, risk brings reward too. So the goal is to find the asymmetrical risk reward, meaning for every unit of risk, you want to get 5 to 10 times unit of reward. If you find those kind of bets, those are the one, because 50-50 is not good because you're gambling. It's like going to roulette and be like, hey, this or that. You don't want that. You want to have something that's in the balance of probability is in your favor, which is good. Abid, if you don't mind, I want to talk briefly about what we're doing in terms of the fight, you know, because I think we didn't get a chance to talk about that. In the
this was
yes, please
one of the
go ahead,
questions.
Karim. Like tell the audience like where they can find you and what you're up to like currently as well.
Very
And
simple.
of course, also I had the question in the chat, Karim. What do you think? Who will win the fight when MTK is fighting October 15 in Las Vegas? You have.
Well, I mean, I'm biased. I want my Hexican to win. You know what I mean? I mean, we're sponsoring everything like that. So, but seriously, like, I'm very proud of MK because he spent $30,000 of his own money. That's almost as much as we raised so far, just to pay for the training, because he's trained by Floyd Money Mayweather's brother. Some people don't know that. Like we're connected with the money team. He follows me on Instagram. I forget to mention that T-Mac is there. And then his son too, Slug Boy Chris, that's his name on Instagram. He's the next kind of like Floyd. This kid is nasty. He's so good. It's all on my Instagram. People can see those who follow. And I've been blessed enough to one time, I met him twice. And on the second time, we talked a little bit about market and crypto. And he's gonna come to the fight. He's doing the one training MK. And oh my God, if I can talk to him about crypto and Hex, it's gonna be game over. That's the same family that, when we did the whole NASCAR thing, oh, he was over there, nobody got to talk to them. I got to talk to the brother who got connected with Floyd, and they might get to put money to invest into Hex. That will be my ultimate on board ever. That would be insane. So this is the kind
That
of
would be
people we're
insane, I agree,
connecting
yeah.
with. We're connected also to top OnlyFans girls. People like it or not, they have millions of subscribers, millions. Like the neighbors of MK, she has like just on subscriptions alone, people pay like $50 a month. It's like 100,000 people, and then they average like 5 million, 8 million, 12 million, 15 million subscriber on IG and stuff. No wonder my IG is going crazy because I just rub elbow with those people, and I'm very polite, very chill. I don't really talk crypto too much, but I'm just infiltrate, talking, build a network, and then later, hey, what is this Hex about? I heard you guys sponsored the fight. This is why we need you guys' help, because it makes us look good. So when I meet those people and I say, hey, we're the one helping MK, we're the one sponsoring the fight and doing all this other thing, it makes us look good. Then people want to ask, what is Hex? You guys sponsoring the celebrity fight? Oh, wow. Then you guys must be doing something good. Do you know what I mean? And right now we definitely need everybody's help. We raised about 35,000 so far out of the 100,000 that we need. Again, I work very, very hard to keep the cost as low as possible. If people remember, the NASCAR was 650,000. This is only 100K. And we're already making a bigger impact. I mean, literally, I'm about to hit 100K subscriber on IG. I can't even believe it myself. It's insane. We're onboarding. One of MK's neighbor at Onboarding is a doctor, surgeon. Put him into Hex. He had like $20,000 of ETH just lying around. He didn't know what to do with it. We got it onboarded, staking ladder, boom. I'm gonna talk to his son, do an onboarding for that as well. Like, there's so many things that are happening. And yes, I get it. We're in a bear market, things are tough. But I know that too. That's why I work so hard. Not just me, Miguel, also Dollar Cost Crypto, which is Miguel, and then Gary as well, helping out as well. We need people's help. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you can do, obviously no obligation, but whatever you can do, that will definitely help us out, because I'm trying to make this work so we can get the center ring, everything there. The top 10 contributor, you get automatically a free seat. We got 10 ringside seats. We're gonna be sitting in ringside in front of everything. It's gonna be insane. There's a rumor Drake might come to the fight. It's crazy. Atlantic City,
All right.
it's gonna be amazing.
So Karim, we have Dixon Cedar here in the
Yep.
chat. He likes you so much. He is asking for your OnlyFans. I think you don't have the OnlyFans by
No,
by now.
only
But
IG, Kareem Majito, and Twitter.
I already put your Twitter handle in there. I already put your Instagram handle in there, because I think that's where the people can find out about the fight, for example, right? So how could they find everything? Where should they go when they want to contribute? Where should they go when they even maybe want to come to the actual fight October 15th
Perfect.
in Las
I'm
Vegas?
glad you asked. And then all I gotta do here really quickly is share this small video. Allow me to share my screen, please, because it's gonna explain basically everything, and it shows where the links are in the bio and the description. Because the thing about the ticket for the actual fight, those are physical tickets. In other words, you have to be there. If you're not there, then obviously that ticket goes kind of like null and void. So you have to be there. So if you're gonna be there, definitely you want to get the ticket. If you're not gonna be there, you want to contribute to the ETH address that we have, because that will help us towards getting the sponsorship, which is the thing that we're trying to do. Does that make sense? So I'm loading the video right now. Just give me 1 second so we can have that done.
Make sure you probably want to play it with sound, right? So make sure to
Yes.
only share this tab, and then we will have the sound.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let me do sharing. Boom. So that will help us a lot, you know.
This also gives everybody in the chat here to like and subscribe the video, because we had at one point 100 people watching. I think we had not
Please.
had 100 viewers yet on KSB TV. Of course, on Kryptosparbuch we had that really often, but I'm really proud that today we had that on KSB TV. So thanks for
Nice.
everybody who is in the
Shout out
chat.
to everybody.
Please like and subscribe. So now let's play the video. The screen share is already up. We can see you, Karim.
Oh,
But not hear you. Oh yeah, here we go. But there's no sound as I see.
wait, there's no sound for you?
No sound now.
Well, how? It's made loud.
I think you have to
Yeah,
share
no
the
sound.
specific tab, not the whole window.
Oh, specific tab? Hold
Yeah.
on. So let me stop
Mhm.
sharing. Okay, I'm sorry, because usually it just works. But so when you say share and then share screen, you want me to do
Browser window, or how is it
Oh,
called?
this
Like
window?
the 360.
No,
Yeah.
no, not the window, but
No,
the
no, not the
specific
entire
tab.
screen.
Okay, no
Yeah.
entire screen.
Yeah.
Okay, this window or Chrome tab?
From
Chrome
tab.
tab.
Chrome
right?
tab.
Chrome tab.
And
Okay.
there the YouTube.
Perfect. Okay, doing it right now. Thank you. I just learned something. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All
There
right,
it
can you
is.
guys see it?
Yeah,
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
you can go ahead already.
Yo, what's up,
there we
guys?
go.
Scope, and welcome to the Las Vegas Hex Mansion. Boy, Scoop Scott Skellimush is my home, my oasis. I love it. I'm loving it. And I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about how I became a Hexicans. I was first originally reached out from the Hexican community from a member like you guys who had hit me up and brought me to the attention of Hex.
Shout out to Hex Minati, my boy.
Then what was next? I was out in Southern Florida where I was at a press conference scheduled for me to fight the fake Drake. The guy who runs around Miami acting like fake Drake.
It's going down, guys.
You're doing good, boy. I'm gonna knock you out and Drake out at the same time.
And I was blessed enough to be put together with a guy named Kareem and his team, Kareem the Dream.
Yeah, man, look at I'm over here with my guys. What's going on,
If
man?
your guys' faces over each other.
Again, if it's still on.
Hey. He got it going on. He put me in together with the man, Richard Hart himself.
You know, I sold my deal to Fox, Dick Clark Productions, and
Richard Hart was able to come out on stage with me where he blessed me with one of the coolest shirts ever, where I know you've seen me pop this guy a few times in the face and representing the Hex Nation. That's how I was coming. It was going down with cameras all around.
Do you see who I got over here? Bro, you don't understand? I'm hexed up. I'm gonna knock you the hex out.
I'm so happy to be able to learn about the Hex community, where I'm able to learn about, Quattro Cinco. I learned how to do my longevity and do a long staking for 15 years out, and then make my ladder all the way down so I have continuous money for a long-term wealth. All I'm focused on is my future. How I'm going to take my kids and go on a vacation, unless I'm not focused now on delayed gratification. So right now I'm doing my thing. I'm putting my mind together with the world best Hexicans, and all I'm going to do is just help spread the word, spread the help the nation get better out of this fucking computer of banking generation. We're over here making crypto with Hex. This is what's next. This is what I'm trying to tell the world. They on the wrong chains, man. Look at me. I got the right chains on. I always get the right chain. So when it comes to the blockchain, I know what's up with me. I see my pulse. I have a pulse. So, God damn it, pulse chain it is. We're from the earth. We're from the soil, ground. Babies have heartbeats. We have souls. We're alive. We have a pulse. When we're dead, goners, gone. No more. Then what? Then what? We're the floor. We're nothing. Then we're dead. We're floored. We're floored. There's nothing. There's no pulse. No pulse. We're dead. We have a pulse. We're alive. We're alive. And then imagine double. I'm coming double. I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming. I took everything from my old chain, turned it into 2 chain. I got double. That's what my focus is on, and that's what I could help spread the knowledge. And before I get out of here, I have a special announcement. October 15th, I need every Hexican in the nation to purchase their tickets to watch me whoop the fake Drake's ass. Ticket links are on my Instagram bio, or ask another Hexican if you don't know. If you can't make it to the fight, figure out how to watch the pay-per-view or whatever's streaming there and get your fucking crew together and log on. Goddamn it, Hexican Nation, we taking over.
I love it. It's so good. He's so good. He's natural. I love how you explained with you.
It was great. It was great.
So good. It's like people just, it's great entertainment. And on top of that, he explained it well in his own term, what he has learned. And this is why it's so cool. Learning so fast. And right here below, when you click here, show more, you get to see the ETH address is here. I'm the one that personally manage it. So you'll be able to see that that's where you get to do the donation. This is the direct ticket if you plan to come physically at the show. So you will get it here, and then you have to put in the fighter code M to the K. It's very important so that they know that it's coming from us. And then this is dollar cost Instagram, MK Instagram, stuff like that. Because this is on dollar cost crypto channel. And Richard, we did it. That's how we got.
Kareem, can you put the link, the URL in this private chat so we can actually put it here in the YouTube chat as well, so everybody can click on it?
That is a
and
great,
then such a funny video. I think a lot of will come out of what you're doing here, Kareem. Thanks to M2K for being a Hexican and holding up the Hexican flag, promoting for Hex. I think that's really, really cool. Will bring a lot of eyeballs that Hex really, really deserves, right? Because this is the only problem that we have. The problem is that we have an amazing opportunity in front of us, but the people do not want to listen. They do not want to learn. And this is why we need promotions like this, where the people get entertained and brought to Hex in the really wholesome way. Kareem, thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you so much for this stream. I think it was a lot of fun. I think a little bit more than 3 hours. I said it before, the discussions between you and Hexline, everybody was liking it in the chat. Amazing stream we had going on today. Kareem, thank you so much.
Actually, Kareem, we need to do that more often, like once every 3 months, you know, like a 3-hour back and forth.
You know where to find me, you know, if I'm not busy running around onboarding somebody, I always do, because it's refreshing, it's fun, so I like doing it.
Now, the last words from me here is, I think we should right now, RH Max is streaming, so I will put in the YouTube link here of RH Max. Once we are done here with this stream, you guys in this chat should definitely go over to RH Max, rate him, just give him a shout out from KSB TV, and now the last words from Hexline, and then the very last words from Kareem, and then we are off the stream. Hexline, it's your turn.
So thanks for the viewership to still be with us after 3 hours. Thanks, Kareem, for the nice discussion, and I give you the word for the last few words and say thank you already.
No, same again. Thank you both. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You know, diehard Hexicans and care for the community and want to make sure everything goes well. Thanks for asking your questions as well. Because you know we're not gods, we're only humans. But you know, if we put our minds together, we can do amazing things. And thanks for the support. Please share the video as far and as wide as possible. That helps us a lot. Again, we have raised about $35,000 so far. We're trying to get to 100,000. There's also, I share, if you can put in a link, the ETH address. So if you can't come to the fight, that would be the best way to help us. If you can come to the fight, you know, you can purchase a ticket, or you can do both, because if you're one of the top 10 contributor, your tickets comes automatically for free, everything. And also one more thing, you're getting free swag. This really nice shirt, because I'm ordering stuff for from Suzanne, from her store, from the top contributors. So they help us out. They come in, they're going to be at the party. They're going to be sitting front row, and they're going to get free swag as well, because I think, you know, I want to give them value.
Awesome. Cool. I like
to donate. So help us
Cannot wait to see that, Kareem. It was awesome. Thank you so much. And everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe. We see us next week with other amazing topics. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.